Welcome to college football.
This is Fox College Football.
Smash Mouth Football.
We bring you the most enormous games in the best conferences.
How about this?
And the brightest stars bring out their talents.
Big time player.
Up next, these teams will play for everything. Fox College Football starts right now.
We start this first Saturday of the season with a double shot from the Big 12. Kyler Murray, is it Saturday night or Saturday morning with that shirt? Strong shirt game. He steps into Baker Mayfield's shoes in Norman as number 7 Oklahoma hosts Lane Kiffin's FAU out. Begin in Norman as Oklahoma begins life without Baker Mayfield. Look, the numbers pre-Mayfield and then the stats for his 3 years there show the impact that he clearly had on the program and the offense. Head coach Lincoln Ryland trying to keep that Sooners offense rolling, and he spoke with our Jenny Taft just moments ago.
Rob, thank you, Lincoln. I'm going to start with the obvious. First time since 2014 without Baker Mayfield. But tell me about your new man in charge, Kyler Murray, and really what to expect from the offense as a whole this year.
I'm excited for Kyler. You know, he's waited his time here, had a great battle with Austin Kendall, a guy that I have a lot of confidence in. Our players do. I think he'll play well and continue the trend of great quarterback play here at Oklahoma.
Mike Stoops called the defensive front his most improved, but today going up against a guy whose numbers speak for themselves in Devin Singletary, how do you limit him?
Yeah, you've got to win at the line of scrimmage. You give him any air, he's too good of a player. And then you've got to tackle him with more than one person. You know, he's a great back for a reason. We're going to play very well against him.
Good luck today.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Rob?
All right, Oklahoma's won more Big 12 championships this century than they've lost home games. That includes claiming the last 3 conference titles. So, Matt, do they maintain this level of excellence, or should we expect maybe a bit of a step back?
I think they're going to maintain it, and here's why. I'd like to briefly talk about Baker Mayfield, what they're going to lose in him. You can't replace a Heisman Trophy winner. You know, the emotional leadership we saw in the game and on the sideline, always having his team ready to play, and then those unscripted plays. Every time he got out of the pocket when he was throwing the football, that's when he was at his best. Now we focus on Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is a way better athlete than Baker Mayfield. He's going to be able to run the football, and you pair him with Rodney Anderson, these great receivers, a really good offensive line. I think this offense under Lincoln Riley and Kyler Murray at the helm would be probably more run-oriented because of those talented guys in the backfield, but they have a chance to be as explosive, maybe more explosive. Defensively, Coach, I know that's kind of a question mark, but there's no reason to believe Oklahoma can't compete for another Big 12 championship.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the way they've recruited the last 2 years, I mean, we know they have talent. And, you know, when you lose the best player in your team in Mayfield, other areas got to pick it up to maintain that excellence. And the defense, you know, going back about 5 years, even when Bob Stoops was there, you know, they went from the 4-3 to a 3-4. They've waffled back and forth. I think it's time defensively for these guys with the talent that they have to step up, you know, grab this thing, take control of it, and be a dominant defense like some of the Wisconsins and Alabamas around the country.
Yeah, and the defense certainly is a bit of a concern, especially the run defense. Now, Mike Stoops says that that's the most improved group along that defensive line, but we'll see there. But big picture, it's not so much, I think, Oklahoma may be stepping back, but they're taking a step back, but some of the teams behind them may be taking a step up, moving a little bit forward. Texas did a great job in the Red River rivalry last year, Red River shootout, coming back in that ball game, almost taking it from Oklahoma. And then you look at the rest of the conference, Oklahoma and their schedule, they have to go to TCU and to my team, Matt. You know I'm going to be singing Country Road this year, Matt.
I'm surprised I haven't heard it yet.
You know I'm going to be singing it because they have to go to West Virginia.
Big
so
I
think that's what we're going to see in the Big 12 this year. Oklahoma finally having some challengers rise to the occasion.
One more in the Big 12. Iowa State, David Montgomery. Watch out for the Cyclones. They got Iowa coming up.
Off the field, I really like all of the comic book movies. like the Avengers and Captain America and even the DC universe. I'm scuba diving certified, so I like to do adventurous things like that. And I love my dog. He's a Rottweiler named Rafiki.
I like watching movies. I like playing video games. I like to play PUBG right now. It's a fun game I like to play with my buddies. I am the best video game player on this team.
Off the field, my favorite Netflix show is Prison Break. I love watching movies, and I just like chilling with my girlfriend.
I enjoy sleeping right after I eat a big meal. My favorite NBA player is Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I like playing Fortnite.
CeeDee Lamb was third in receiving yards for the Sooners last season, that as a true freshman. You may remember him last year as number 9. He's now switched to that number 2 jersey. Coming your way, we start with FAU Oklahoma on Fox. Maybe the best player on the field is a guy who's playing for FAU, Devin Singletary.
Yeah, very dangerous runner. 32 rushing touchdowns a year ago, almost 2,000 yards. Struggled a little bit against Navy and Wisconsin running the football. But remember, the problems that Oklahoma has had stopping the run. 5 times last year they gave up more than 200 yards rushing, including more than 300 yards rushing against Georgia in the playoffs. So watch out, Devin Singletary against that Oklahoma rush defense today.
Rodney Anderson, he became the Sooners' #1 tailback, Matt, about halfway through last season. This is a guy who's really rising in the minds of the NFL.
Yeah, he's rising. And remember last year, he shared the backfield with the Heisman Trophy winner, Baker Mayfield. Still rushed for 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, also had 300 yards receiving. He's a tremendous player, Robert. Big kid, about 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", 220 pounds, fast. He's physical. I'm excited for him this year because I think with Kyler Murray at quarterback, they are going to run the football more. And I will just say this today in this game, Rodney Anderson, FAU last year against Wisconsin and Navy, 2 rushing offenses, they gave up 357 yards and 415 yards. It could be a great day for Rodney Anderson versus that.
Next on FS1 in Norman on Fox. Folks set to begin the one-and-done starting QB campaign of Kyler Murray. The Oakland A's are waiting for his services, but it's FAU up next.
Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. And here come the 7th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners coming off a spectacular season in which they finished 3rd in the nation, 4 consensus All-Americans, including the Heisman Trophy winner, Baker Mayfield. Today, they're ready to open their season against the Owls from Florida Atlantic. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with my partner, Joel Klatt. And welcome to Norman, Oklahoma. Let's get it out of the way quickly. Baker Mayfield is gone. First overall pick by the Cleveland Browns. Kyler Murray steps in, and he's not just a baseball player on Saturday.
Well, in order to fill large shoes like Baker Mayfield left, you got to have immense talent, and that's exactly what Kyler Murray has. This guy is a difference maker as an athlete, one of the fastest players on the field, highly recruited as a football player. Obviously, we know about his baseball prowess, being drafted 9th overall, but this guy can throw it a little bit. Very, very important for him to stay within himself and just be him. Don't try to be Baker Mayfield.
All right, they're taking on Florida Atlantic, coached by Lane Kiffin, a well-traveled coach in professional and college football, and he brings a team in here that's won 10 in a row. These aren't cream puffs.
No, they're not. And listen, Lane Kiffin has transformed this program. They were a 3-win team in back-to-back seasons. Enter Lane Kiffin, and now they're 11-3, and they're one of the better teams in all of Group of 5. I think they could challenge for a New Year's 6 bowl this year. They've got a great running back, and it was so smart of Lane Kiffin to feature him last year. Devin Singletary, this guy had over 30 touchdowns last year, most in the country, 1,900 yards. He's an incredible runner with great awareness and instincts. This guy is going to get the rock a ton tonight.
Today's pre-kick flow is presented by Progressive. So coming up, Florida Atlantic and Oklahoma. This is the first ever meeting between these 2 programs. We'll have the opening kick right after this. Welcome back. Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt with you from Norman. Time now to join the third member of our team on the sideline, who moments ago caught up with Lane Kiffin. Here's the All-American girl, Jenny Taft.
Coach, I'll keep it short and sweet. Who's your starting quarterback and why?
Our starting quarterback is Chris, and he just has done the best things throughout the camp, and so it's very close. We may play all three of them.
You're coming off one of the most successful season in program history, but you open in front of this crowd. How confident are you guys?
Well, it's awesome to play in front of this crowd and be able to come here. It's an experience our kids will always remember, so hopefully we can keep it close somehow.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, OU won the toss, deferred, so Florida Atlantic will receive the football. It's a hot and steamy day here in Norman, 85 degrees at kickoff time. Temperatures are supposed to go up to the mid-90s. So you got to stay hydrated, partner.
Got to stay hydrated, got to stay rested. And it's important to conserve your energy. You can't go give it everything you got in the first quarter, because once the tank is empty, there's no coming back. Very, very important to conserve your energy today.
Austin Seibert will send it away. James Pierre, Kierith White are the deep men. OU, Florida Atlantic, and we're underway from Norman. And this one kicked out of the end zone. So Lane Kiffin took away the mystery, Joel. Chris Robinson will come out first, the former Oklahoma Sooner, to start at quarterback for Florida Atlantic.
He was highly recruited, a 4-star recruit. He originally signed and was here at Oklahoma, was here for his first spring, which would have been the spring of his senior year. He was dismissed from the team last August and transferred to FAU due to the previous relationship he had with Kendall Briles, who was one of the coaches who recruited him when Briles was at Baylor. Robinson has had his problems, but here's the deal. Chris Robinson is a very talented player, and he has been waiting for this stage on this field. Let's see how he plays right now.
He'll start from the 25-yard line. First down and 10. Singletary in the backfield with him.
A delay of game on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
So some disorganization for Lane Kiffin's squad as they come on the field offensively for the first time. So that'll make it first down and 15. Singletary next to Robinson. And Robinson throwing on first down. He has a man in the flats. That's Durant. And Durant gets out of bounds close to the 40-yard line. Radley Hiles, the freshman from Inglewood, California, there to usher him out of bounds.
Yeah, and Jovan Durant is a transfer from West Virginia. He's actually played against Oklahoma twice in his career, but we got a player down for FAU on the very first snap.
That's Reggie Bain, the left tackle.
Left tackle, he's a senior from Miami. He was one of the co-MVPs out of spring football. They were looking for some big things from him. It was tough to see what actually happened. It was a quick pass out to the right side, but they were actually designed that for the offensive line to block a run play. So it was one of these RPO run pass option plays, and Bain was trying to cut off the backside while Robinson threw it out to Durant.
So how ironic for Robinson. Dismissed from the team last year, goes to Florida Atlantic, and all of a sudden he's the starting quarterback coming back to Norman to take on his former team.
I'm sure he always thought his first start was going to be on this field. He just didn't realize it was going to be in a different uniform.
First down and 10 at the 35. And they'll run it. This is Durant, and he'll pick up a first down.
Durant had to sit out last year because of transfer rules, but he is a difference maker. He's one of their best athletes. Lane said that they wanted to get him the ball as much as they possibly could in a number of different ways. We've already seen that, a pass and now a rush.
Remember, this Florida Atlantic team has won 10 straight football games. They were undefeated in Conference USA a season ago. And they'll run it straight ahead with Singletary trying to break the tackle. Gets past the line of scrimmage and finally knocked out of bounds by Houghton. But there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, it looked
holding by number 76 of the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty, and it's still first down.
That's B.J. Etienne. He's the guard right here on the left side of your screen. And you see he's just going to get pushed back into the backfield. And right here, he's just got to grab the defensive player and bring him down to the ground. It's an excellent job there on the interior. That was Amani Bledsoe, number 72, with a good penetration up the field and force Etienne into the hole.
Opening series. for the Owls of Florida Atlantic. First down and 20 at the 36. Robinson sprints out of the pocket. Wants to throw on the move. Does. That ball deflected and out of play, intended for Durant. Parnell Motley, though, gets a hand on the football.
Great coverage, but a late hit on the quarterback, and there's a flag down.
A personal foul, roughing the passer by number 9 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
That's Kenneth Murray, the middle linebacker.
Yeah, and Murray is going to be lucky that that wasn't called a targeting. He just ducked his head at the last second and was able to go down towards the chest, but it was certainly late as Murray was heading out to try to defend the quarterback on the outside. Murray, a very talented player, started as a true freshman all season a year ago. They're looking for some big things from him, but a mistake there.
Addison Gums blew his knee out yesterday in practice, and he has been lost for the season. He's another young, talented linebacker for Oklahoma. First and 10 at the 49. Now Singletary looking for some space, pushing forward. Gains a yard on the play. Amani Bledsoe there defensively.
Yeah, Bledsoe did such a good job of getting off the block and then closing the space between he and Singletary.
Second and 9 at the 48. Florida Atlantic looking very confident to start this game, and it's Singletary again. Curtis Bolton comes up and makes the tackle. Singletary, a very special running back, Conference USA Player of the Year a season ago.
I mean, he got over 300 carries. Just a workhorse back there. 301 actually led the nation.
Third down and 4. Singletary skipping through the hole. First down. And one thing they say about him, Joel, is he's a patient runner.
And you saw the patience right there. Watch this cut. He's going to head over to his left, and then he's just going to find the seam. And right there, he cuts up the middle of the field, finds the space, and moves the chains.
Got some Le'Veon Bell in him. First down at the 34. Robinson steps up in the pocket, makes a couple of guys miss, and finally slides down at the 30.
I'll tell you what, he did a great job just gaining some positive yards there, because there were several Oklahoma players that had a chance at Robinson in the backfield, and he was able to actually, looks like, gain a couple.
Robinson still close friends with many of the OU team, and the man who recruited him, Lincoln Riley, who wishes nothing but the best for this young player. Second and 9 at the 33. Now Robinson gets back to the line of scrimmage barely, as he is taken down by Ronnie Perkins.
Well, just a great job on the outside. Watch right here. Defensive end slow plays it and now squeezes down and is able to get in there and make the tackle. Ronnie Perkins does a great job.
Third down and 9. Robinson sideline. This ball caught by White. And he shakes his way to the 15, but a flag on the play. Kenneth Murray with the tackle. Willie Wright.
It's going to be interesting. I think this is going to be one of the new rules that has taken place. Harrison Bryant blocked low, but he did so from the side. And this year you're going to have to approach the player from the front, from his front.
Foul, blocking below the waist by number 40 of the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty and replay third down.
Previously, that was a legal block. You could block outside of the tackle box, and you could come in from the side and cut like that on the outside. Now, Gus, you've got to approach the defender from the front, from his face, in order to go low and block him. So a mistake there from Harrison Bryant. He's a preseason all-conference player in Conference USA.
So they're marching back 15 yards. Florida Atlantic faced with a third down and 24 at the 48. Singletary back in the game. He's the pistol back behind Robinson. And they give it to him. Running left. Not a lot of room. The OU defense doing a nice job. Spearheaded by Ronnie Perkins, the freshman from St. Louis.
How about that? A couple of really nice plays from Perkins. What I loved about it is that Perkins seems like the game is moving slow for him. He's being patient, allowing the reads to approach. Here he's the defensive end on the right side, and he's just going to get his outside arm free and then stay there. Did you see him extend his left arm? What a perfect job by a young player playing perfect.
So Sebastian Riella will come in to punt. He won the job because of his ability to place his kicks. C.D. Lamb is the deep man. End over end kick. And out of bounds around the 25. And that's where Kyler Murray will start for Oklahoma. The man that replaces the man. Fox College Football is presented by AT&T Business, providing edge-to-edge intelligence. And is sponsored by the 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. Oklahoma with the football now. He's 5'10", 195, a redshirt junior. Kyler Murray trots on the field as the starting quarterback at OU.
And his time is now. He's got 1 year to play football. Oakland A's are letting him play here for Oklahoma after being the 9th pick in the draft. He signs for just under $5 million. He's one of the most gifted players out there, but he's got some of the biggest shoes to fill that we've seen in recent vintage in college football.
First down and 10 at the 26. Rodney Anderson in the backfield. And they'll give it to Anderson on first down. Breaks it back, dives forward. And Anderson will pick up 3.5, maybe 4 yards on the play. But Lincoln Riley said this: Kyler is free to make whatever decision he wants, and if he wants to play baseball after this year, we'll wish him well and be happy for him, but he's leaving that door open. Second down and 8 at the 28. Here's Murray. Far side. On the money. At the 40-yard line, Marquise Brown with a first down.
Who?
Hollywood.
There he is. One of the fastest players in all of America. This is the best deep threat, I believe, in college football because of how fast he is and the way that he catches the ball down the field. Really smart of Lincoln Riley to try to get him involved early in this game.
First down and 10 at the 39. Hollywood Brown coming off a 1,000-yard season 1 year ago. Anderson bottled up, and he'll be tackled for a loss. Shire with the tackle. Aziz Al-Shire, the middle linebacker, and this young man is talented.
He's one of the best linebackers in the entire country. In fact, Lincoln Riley sat in with a straight face, said, I think the only middle linebacker that we faced that was better than him was Roquan Smith from last year, the Buckus Award winner. Now with, obviously, the Chicago Bears. That is high praise to give a middle linebacker, but that's how good Aziz Al-Shire is.
Second down and 12 of the 37, opening series for Oklahoma. Murray out of the gun with time over the middle and caught. Hollywood Brown again. First down, OU.
Boy, I'm impressed by the touch that Murray showed right there. First, the patience in the pocket. Watch as Hollywood's going to start on the outside. He's just going to slow play it. Then he's going to get up past the linebackers, and then that ball has to be kind of floated over. It's called a layered pass. You got to layer it over the linebackers in front of the safeties. That's an excellent throw from Murray.
Brown considered by NFL.com as the #1 college wideout to watch. Fastest man on this team. First and 10 at the 47.
Certainly has the best name.
No doubt about it. Murray. Quarterback draw with space. Tries to break a tackle, but is dragged down at the 45. Rashad Smith grabbed his ankle and brought him to the turf.
And Rashad Smith is a very good player in his own right. He had 99 tackles last year, and he's going to come over from his middle linebacker spot, and he's going to get over to that spot and make the tackle. That's a tough tackle to make in space. Terrific job.
Junior from Florida City, Florida. Second down and 8 at the 45. Murray trying to sprint out of the pocket. Bobbled up. Steps up in the pocket. Uses his legs. And Murray jumping backwards. Still on his feet. Look at this run. Murray. First down, Oklahoma. Wow. 15 yards the hard way.
You know, that reminded me a lot of a couple of years ago, a guy at Louisville, Lamar Jackson. I mean, I tell you what, I mean, he had nothing going on down the field. He looked like he was bottled up a couple of times and made chicken salad, as you like to say, Gus. How about those moves?
Looks like a little Johnny Manziel in there as well. He won the quarterback competition against redshirt sophomore Austin Kendall after serving as Mayfield's backup last year. First down and 10 at the 30. Anderson downhill. Anderson, Mr. Anderson, 30-yard touchdown. And Oklahoma scores on their opening opening drive.
Yeah, what a play there. Just a terrific cut. Watch, they're going to actually not block the 3 technique. That's the defensive lineman right on the guard. Anderson makes that read, and he is gone. Terrific design right there. The offensive line goes up to the 2nd level. Anderson in for a touchdown.
Anderson ran for 1,161 yards and scored 18 total touchdowns last season. Very effective catching the ball out of the backfield as well. So OU strikes first. Rodney Anderson. That is the sound of inevitability, Mr. Anderson. All right, here are the Go RVing sights and sounds from the beautiful campus here at Oklahoma and the amazing atmosphere at Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. Well, we just have had an opportunity just to see 2 major schools in Oklahoma. Oklahoma State Stillwater on Thursday against Missouri State. Now we got OU and Florida Atlantic here in Norman.
And those from around here will know what I'm saying when I say it is football time in Oklahoma.
And Seibert sends it away. And this one kicked out of the end zone once again. Let's go to Sam Farber for a game break in LA.
All right, Gus, over on FS1, Maryland Terrapins hosting every Sooners' favorite team, Texas. Certainly been a tumultuous offseason for Maryland, but they're starting today strong. Jay-Sean Jones, 28-yard touchdown. Terps upset Texas 51-41 to start last season. They lead number 23, Texas, 7-0 in the first quarter to start 2018.
We saw that like Sam talked about last year, but I've been high on that Texas team. I know a lot of people around here don't like to hear that.
No doubt about it. And on 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line, the Owls run the reverse, and this is Willie Wright trying to find space. Motley coming up and making the tackle. And so far in this game, it seems like the Sooners defense are doing a nice job of making some open field stops.
I'm already more impressed. You know, overall, they're just a better defense this year than they were last year.
2nd down and 7 at the 28. Gerald Hearns. And he tries to fight for a yard, maybe a yard and a half. And Marquise Overton was there.
And I think it starts up front. They're just more experienced. They're stronger up front. Amani Bledsoe, Neville Gallimore, Kenneth Mann, Overton, all these guys got significant snaps a year ago and should be much better here in 2018.
Overton is a big boy, 6'1", 315, 3rd and 7 at the 28. Right, the motion man. Robinson looking with time, fires deep down the field, incomplete. That ball intended for Deshaun Holmes, the junior from Pasadena, California. Florida Atlantic, a quick 3 and out.
Boy, that's one of those throws, you know, on 3rd down, that's a real low percentage throw. And I think Robinson is going to be frustrated with himself because he had some other things out there that he could have picked up the 1st down with. He chose to try for the home run, but was unable to hit.
Riella will punt it away from inside his own 15. C.D. Lamb, the sophomore. Very versatile player. And that one is blocked. Oklahoma got it. Touchdown Sooners.
Up the gut. Oklahoma gets a great jump. Riella was very deliberate once he got the ball, way too slow in order to get that punt off. Easy block for the Sooners.
And Curtis Bolton covers the football up in the end zone for the touchdown. And Oklahoma takes a 14-0 lead. Sooners doing it on special teams as well. 14-0 OU. Lane Kiffin has shown the confidence in Devin Singletary. That confidence led to FAU placing a billboard on I-95 to help hype Singletary as the Heisman in Paradise, a play on the FAU advertising campaign, Welcome to Paradise. The look of confidence. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. And right now, they definitely have to get them going after the special teams touchdown by Oklahoma to give the Sooners a 14-0 lead.
Yeah, they got to create some momentum for themselves, and they got to do it with their best player.
This one kicked out of the end zone again. So Florida Atlantic will start from the 25.
I think that's going to be hard, Gus, just to hand it to him to get that momentum. So look for some creative ways that they get him the ball. Maybe a screen pass, maybe something like a little slip screen or a swing screen on the outside. Get him some positive yards, some momentum, because that defense is certainly feeling it after the last series going 3 and out.
Remember, this Oklahoma team advanced all the way to the college football semifinals last year, losing to Georgia in double overtime. 1st and 10 of the 25. Singletary, stiff arm, and he'll go down at the 30. Nice run as he gets to the 30-yard line. Trey Brown with the tackle for OU.
Yeah, really nothing there, and he kind of made it happen there on the outside with a nice cut and a burst on the outside.
5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5 at the 30. Robinson gives it to Singletary again, and he's tackled from behind. Kenneth Mann got him, falls forward, and he'll pick up a couple.
Check out this move. I mean, just all the way in from that defensive tackle spot. He's going to come all the way down, slip over the offensive lineman and get the tackle. That's a heck of a move from Kenneth Mann.
On 3rd and 4, they throw it near side right, looking for the first down, and he won't get it. There's that good Okerfield tackling again by Oklahoma, and a flag on the play. Radley Hiles and Parnell Motley combining. What's Radley Hiles' nickname again, Joel?
Buki.
Buki.
Buki's one heck of a player, man.
Yes,
they are
is.
very high on him. 5-star recruit. Grew up in Inglewood, California, but went to IMG Academy.
There is
down
no
in Florida.
foul for a block below the waist. It's 4th down.
I'm really glad they picked this flag up because the wide receiver did a great job. Watch as the wide receiver is going to get all the way out and then in front of the defender. That's a legal block. If he would have come in from the side, that would draw the penalty. But a great discussion by the officials to pick that up for a no call.
And FAU thought about going for it on 4th down. Remember, they led the nation in 4th down attempts and conversions last season, but too deep in their own territory, so they will punt it away. Riella lines up at the 18. CD Lamb is back deep at his own 30.
They got a delay here.
A delay of game by number 96 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still 4th down.
You know, FAU came into this game and they wanted to get into those shorter 4th down situations because they were going to go for it. They were going to go for it as many times as necessary in the 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Well, you get outside of that and you have to punt, but you can see what's going on with the punt team right now.
So they back Riella up to the 13-yard line. Lamb looking for an opportunity as he backpedals. Will start from the 24. CD Lamb. And he goes down at the 35. A 49-yard punt, 11-yard return. So coming up, Mr. Anderson and the Sooners on offense right after this. Fox College Football presented by AT&T Business is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans and by McDonald's. Postcards from Fansville, sponsored by Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. Always an electric atmosphere at Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, also known as the Palace on the Prairie.
118 straight sellouts here for Oklahoma.
14-0 OU. Marcelias Sutton checks in at running back. Murray will throw it over the middle, and it's caught. Over the middle. This is Lee Morris still running. Look at Morris. Can he get a block at the 10? Stiff arm. Touchdown, OU. 65 yards. Baker who? Kyler Murray. Off to a terrific beginning.
Magic Man Jr. This is an excellent throw because the coverage is so good. The linebacker is all over Lee Morris. Look at that ball. It is in the perfect spot, right on his chest, and then it's just strength and athleticism down the field. What an excellent run. Wow.
And coming into this game, the big knock on Kyler was accuracy.
Not on that. I mean, that is as hard a throw to make as there is because you can't see it. You know, we see it with that camera.
Previous play is under further review.
They're going to review whether he was actually in or if he stepped out there inside the 5. But our camera gives you a false sense of how open the wide receiver is or the throwing lane. Because we're up above that with that sky cam. When you're down in your Kyler Murray's height, you cannot see Lee Morris. Gus, so you got to rely on timing and anticipation. Here's Morris down the sideline. And Murray throws it perfectly, right on the money. Does it look like he stays in? It sure looks like he stays in from our angle right there. Did he keep those brand new J's in?
Oh, I tell you what, he's got some sweet feet on that sideline. And our rules analyst, Mike Carrera, joins us. Michael, what are your thoughts on this play?
Hey, Gus and Joel, good to be with you guys. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Two things really to look at. You know, did he step
After further
out
review,
of bounds,
the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Second thing they would have looked at, by the way, is where was the position of the ball when his body hit the pylon, because that ends the play at that point, and it was over the goal line, and the ball had gone inside the pylon anyway. So good ruling on the field, good stop in replay.
All right, thank you very much, Mike, and we look forward to joining us for the remainder of this game. So Kyler Murray starts 3 for 3, 92 yards and a touchdown. He finds Lee Morris, the redshirt junior from Allen, Texas. What an impressive piece of running after the catch, and the Sooners are up big. Well, one reason Lee Morris caught that touchdown pass is because the quarterback played high school football with him.
Yeah, familiar guys from Allen High School with Kyler Murray. But I tell you, man, I'm so impressed with that throw, the timing of it. Not being able to see it, it's right on the money. And then Morris with the strength to not only catch that ball with the defender draped all over him, but then to take it all the way to the end zone. How about Morris? He was the one that blocked the punt, essentially. So what a huge day already for Lee Morris, a former walk-on, played in 14 games a year ago. But my goodness, making his presence known this year for Oklahoma.
21-zip. OU, 7th-ranked team in the nation. 4:49 to play in the first quarter. Pierre and White are the deep men. Seibert is kicking all of his kickoffs out of bounds, and he does it once again for the 4th straight time. Let's check in with Sam Farber for a game break.
Ohio State hosting Oregon State, the number 5 Buckeyes being led by interim coach Ryan Day while Urban Meyer sits out his suspension. On the field, so far so good offensively for OSU. I know that's both of them, but this is Mike Weber, 16-yard touchdown for the Buckeyes. 3 touchdowns in the first half of the first quarter. Ohio State leads it 14-7. Gus and Joel?
I'll tell you what surprises me, Oregon State jumps out and scores a touchdown. New coach for them, Jonathan Smith. He was formerly the offensive coordinator at Washington.
First down and 10 at the 25, and they run the reverse with Durant. So what does this Florida Atlantic team need to do, Joel, to get some rhythm offensively?
Right now they've got no vertical element of their offense. Gus, everything has been side to side, and that's going to be very tough because right now the speed of Oklahoma is taking over.
2nd and 7 to the 28, and they'll give it to Singletary. And Singletary pops free, picks up the first at the 40, still on the move, breaking tackles, breaks it back inside, and goes down at the 45. That's how you can get some rhythm. Caleb Kelly with the tackle after a 27-yard gain.
The cut in the hole was just tremendous. I mean, this guy's vision and awareness is second to none.
First down to the 46 now. Play fake, deep drop, Robinson looks long, he's got a receiver, incomplete. Tavares Harrison was the intended receiver, and that ball thrown a little bit too far.
I want to go back to that run from Singletary, because watch the cut that he makes in the hole. Here he slow plays it, there's that patience, Gus, and then right there, boom, side steps, jump cut, then the stiff arm. He shows you strength, speed, vision, patience, all on one run.
Singletary, 5'9", 200 pounds. 2nd and 10 of the 46. Singletary running left, cuts it back with daylight. Singletary still on the move, first down. Florida Atlantic. Now you're starting to see why so many people think this young man is special.
I'll tell you, that cut right there, that was incredible. He gets the defense moving left, boom, cuts back to the right.
First down at the 36. Robinson, far side, has his man, it's right. And he is driven hard out of bounds by Radley Hiles.
And I think they might get a hold here on the outside. I think that was Ronald Patterson, who was the other wide receiver, and he was blocking. Looked like Trey Brown was the defender over there. Number 6 for OU.
Holding by number 86 of the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty and replay first down.
So they just stack these wide receivers. There's Patterson right here. He's going to work against Trey Brown, and right here he kind of grabs him, and then right there he grabs him with the left hand and drags that left shoulder down, and that's what draws the penalty.
5 penalties for 45 yards already for Florida Atlantic. Robinson near side, White, and White goes down at the 42. Another hard hit. Caleb Kelly, Parnell Motley, both in on the play. Owls quickly to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 12 at the 38. Robinson checks it down near side. DeAndre McNeil, not a lot of room over there as he's dropped quickly. Motley, Kelly there again.
Terrific pursuit by Oklahoma. We're already seeing them tackle much better in space than they did a year ago. That was something that their defensive coordinator, Mike Stoops, really urged them to do this spring and all of fall camp.
3rd down and 11 at the 37. Robinson over the middle, incomplete. DeAndre McNeil, closest man to the football, and that's going to force FAU to punt it once again.
Well, when we talked with Mike Stoops a day ago, who's been here for a long time, Gus, he talked about the efficiency of the front 7, the aggressiveness of the front 7. They're going to need it here as they're going to face a 4th down attempt, 4th and long. Wow. For FAU.
They're going for it at the 37-yard line. 4th and 11. Robinson. And he won't have enough. Singletary couldn't hold on, and the Owls turn it over on downs.
Great defense from Trey Norwood. He was the corner on that side, and there wasn't a wide receiver, and he just waited for the running back to come out of the backfield. He did a terrific job of cutting off his angle and getting him down to the ground. I'll tell you, this OU defense has looked very good so far. Outside of a couple special runs, there's Trey Norwood on the outside. See how he just goes back, settles in space, and now he takes out the outside leg. That's where he approached from. Mike Stoops, even up in the box, he thinks the players hear him. Gus, he's shouting he's like, ah, ah. Maybe not a more animated coach in all of college football.
He is fun to watch when he's working. So 1st down and 10 for Kyler Murray. And the Sooners, Trey Sermon in at running back now. Here's Sermon looking for a hole, has it. And Sermon wrapped up at the 43 by Zion Gilbert.
And as good as Rodney Anderson is, you know, there's not much of a drop-off when Trey Sermon comes into the game. He was really the featured back for the first half of last season as a true freshman and a terrific talent in his own right.
Sophomore from Marietta, Georgia. Gain of 7 on that play. 2nd and 3 at the 44. So take a look at his numbers last season. Murray handing it off. Sermon gets through the hole and picks up a 1st down as he gets inside Florida Atlantic territory.
Good power. Listed at over 220 pounds, and you can tell at the point of contact, he lowers those pads and initiates the contact himself. That's a mark of a great runner. I call them like +2 or +3 runners. Wherever they're going to get contacted, they're going to get 2 or 3 more with forward lean and aggressive contact with their shoulders down, and that's what Sermon did.
Gains of 7 and 8 yards on the last 2 plays for Trey Sermon. First down at the 48. Murray hands it off to Sermon again, running left this time. He'll pick up a yard, maybe a little more.
So the little differences that I'm seeing so far from OU a year ago with Baker Mayfield and now OU with Kyler Murray is last year, there was a significant amount of pass on first down. The percentages were higher, and what you're seeing this year is more zone read, more run featured on first down, and they're still being successful.
Second down and 8 at the 46. Play fake. Murray winds up down the field. Hollywood Brown inside the 20. James Pierre makes the tackle.
And that's something that we haven't seen yet, Gus, from Hollywood Brown. We've seen him run by guys, but now the ability to go up and get the 50-50 ball. Look at him elevate, go over the corner, high point that football, and then bring it down. What a great catch there for Hollywood Brown.
That's a gain of 29. First down and 10 at the 17. Murray gives it to Sermon. Still on the move, Sermon. Breaking tackles down the sideline, dives. Looks like a touchdown for Oklahoma again. But there is a flag.
Flag is way back at about the 13.5-yard line. Yeah, I'm winding it back. I can't see anything. And that's, I think, why they're having a lengthy discussion.
A lot of flags thrown in this first quarter.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, a personal foul by number 71 of the offense. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
It's big Bobby Evans, number 71, the left tackle. Well, as you see here, they're just going to pull both the tackle and the guard around from the right. This is really the bread and butter play for Oklahoma as far as their run is considered. It's kind of a counter play. Great cut right there. There's Evans. He's working. I think he just kind of jumped on his defender after the play late is what drew the flag. But what a terrific run by Trey Sermon. Great vision and then power at the end to extend to the pylon for the touchdown. Boy, this offense is fun to watch. Gus, I am nerding out right now. They are good. The play calling, the schematics, Lincoln Riley, the rhythm that he gives his quarterback. He's getting everybody involved. We've seen Hollywood. We've seen Trey Sermon. We've seen Mr. Anderson. Everybody touching the ball for the Sooners.
Well, I'm more impressed with the way their defense is playing right now.
You know what? And that's probably more important. You're right.
Their defense, these guys are really making open field tackles. They know their assignments, and they're playing with some grit and passion. 7th ranked team in the nation. And I guess Oklahoma heard that Florida Atlantic, after their season ended last year, put a clock in their facility to count down the time to play OU. Well, you wanted us, you got us. 28-0. Let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Well, hey, we've already seen touchdowns from Trey Sermon and Rodney Anderson, and back to that offense that you're loving, Joel. When you talk to the coaching staff about them, they said if you see one, you see the other. They push each other. They have a competitive drive, and Anderson told me earlier this week, he told me in the offseason he'd heard that Sermon's body fat was down, his speed was up, so of course he had to do something about it. So it was a constant battle, but the way the two of them have pushed each other, and Lincoln Riley telling us this offense wants to find a identity, their own identity post Baker Mayfield. We are already seeing that now.
Certainly are. 17-yard touchdown run for Sermon. Lincoln Riley in his second season as the head coach, and he told us in his office yesterday that things are starting to slow down for him now in his second year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it happened fast last year. You remember how late in the summer Bob Stoops stepped away, and Lincoln Riley was given the reins to a great team and one of the great programs in all of college football, and he has taken it and run. You know, I mean, they have done great on the recruiting trail. They go to the playoff. I mean, any one snap of the football, and they're in the national championship game. That was just an amazing game to watch for college football fans when they faced Georgia in the Rose Bowl. And Lincoln has started to step back a little bit. You know, he's delegating more and becoming more of the CEO, Gus, rather than just the coach.
Seibert kicks it off, and once again another deep kick. Two great college football games are coming your way on Fox. Coming up next, North Carolina takes on Cal. Then Akron faces off with Nebraska at 8 Eastern time. It's all happening today on Fox, or watch it anywhere on the Fox Sports app.
Boy, I'm excited to see Scott Frost in Nebraska. All the hype of this offseason. Starting a true freshman at quarterback, Adrian Martinez, and that's a guy that Scott really pointed to as soon as he got the job, and he said, I've got to get that guy in Lincoln. He was able to do so.
Probably the last play of the quarter. Robinson incomplete. Intended for Harrison Bryant. Just a dominating first quarter for the Oklahoma Sooners. 204 yards of offense and 4 touchdowns. And we've got 3 more to play. 28 shake. OU. Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. Welcome back to Norman. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Tabb, Mike Pereira's in the studio in Los Angeles as the Oklahoma Sooners, 7th-ranked team in the nation, coming off a spectacular season last year. Went to the college football playoffs, finished 3rd in the nation. That double overtime game against Georgia, one for the ages. And here's Robinson running it. He'll get out of bounds at the 25. I really wanted to see Baker Mayfield get an opportunity at Alabama.
I think a lot of people would have loved to have seen that, but
didn't happen.
Georgia earned it. I mean, that offense was as potent as I've seen in a long time, and Georgia held them to 1 touchdown drive offensively in the second half and overtime. So it was a great team.
Robinson throws on the run, and is it caught at the 40-yard line? No, incomplete. Trey Norwood covering.
Now almost picked off by Norwood, and there's the other difference, right? Experience at corner. 13, Trey Norwood. Listen, he was baptized by fire last year a little bit. Both corners were, along with Parnell Motley on the other side. And one of the things Mike Stoops said is he thinks they're going to be so much better on the outside just via experience. So you're seeing some of that experience pay dividends today.
Florida Atlantic forced to punt it again. Riella will send it away to C.D. Lamb. Riella standing at the 12-yard line. C.D. Lamb comes up, fields the line drive, makes the first man miss at the 40. Flag on the play, gets it midfield. Hits the sideline, down the sideline. Another flag is thrown, so there are flags at the 36 and at midfield.
Slot receivers Nick Basquin
during the return.
Block in the back.
An illegal block in the back by number 83 of the return team. The penalty is 10 yards and it's first down.
Cooper Castleberry, your referee today.
And that was Basquin, number 83, senior from right here in Norman. And he's right in front of the return, right there, kind of inside the 40-yard line. Number 83 right in front of the official. You see the flag come out. Basquin was originally a walk-on from here in Norman, and he has torn both Achilles in his career. Now he's a senior, and he's getting his shot in the slot. He, along with former head coach Bob Stoops' son Drake Stoops, are listed as the co-starters as slot receivers.
Coach Stoops had a chance to peek his head into our booth.
You see his shoes?
Boy, he had some nice low-top Jordans on. I said, it looks like my size, Coach. To raid his closet. First down to 10 of the 26. Murray to Anderson out of the backfield, showing his versatility. And Anderson plows his way forward. Jalen Young the safety making the tackle.
That's something that Oklahoma has always had, is versatile backs. I mean, you think back to Joe Mixon, caught it well out of the backfield. Even a guy like Dimitri Flowers, who we haven't talked about, but they're missing Dimitri Flowers from last year. He was a versatile fullback, could catch it well out of the backfield.
2nd and 5 to the 31. We're going to talk about those versatile backs in a quick moment. Here's Murray. Hollywood Brown with the catch, and he'll get to the 35. How about guys like Steve Owens, Greg Pruitt, Billy Vessels, Marcus Dupree, DeMarco Murray, Quentin Griffin, Tommy McDonald, Clendon Thomas, Adrian Peterson, Samaje P. Ryan, running back you.
I mean, they have had, it seems like every single era, they have 2, 3 great backs that come out of here, and they certainly have that right now.
Did I mention Billy Sims?
I think you did.
He was pretty good. 3rd down and 1 at the 35.
Did you mention Joe Washington?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Here's the option. Anderson getting downhill. Anderson, look at the burst. Look at that burst. Mr. Anderson down the sideline. Touchdown. OU 65 yards. I think his name's going to be on that list.
One of the great 8-game stretches ever. Over 1,000 yards in the last 8 games of last season, and they're just going to run a little option play. Murray's going to come up here, and then he's going to pitch it to the outside to Rodney Anderson. There wasn't even a defender there to pitch it, but Murray was like, hey, 24, you take it. You get the yardage, and he does. All of the yardage. Takes it to the house.
Rodney Anderson with a great first half, and we still have 13:07 to go in the first quarter. Extra point is good. 5 carries, 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Mr. Anderson. Some people feel that he doesn't have a burst. Think again. Now for SoFi, Power of Ambition
Our
with
team's
OU's
ambition,
Lincoln
I
Riley.
would say, is what it is every single year at Oklahoma. It's to win championships. That's what this program has been about for many, many years and will be about for many more. Those are the expectations when you walk in the door at Oklahoma, and so that answer will never change.
Power of Ambition, sponsored by SoFi, a personal finance company to fit your goals. They've won championships here.
So it's Lincoln's 2nd year. You know what happened in Barry Switzer's 2nd year and Bob Stoops' 2nd year?
Championships.
Championships.
He has all the parts to do it. As the Sooners kick this one out of bounds. Seibert. A rare mistake.
Free kick out of bounds by the kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, and it's 1st down.
Oklahoma is one of the most storied college football programs in the country. 640 wins, the most in FBS history. 38 10-plus win seasons are the most all-time. They have 47 conference titles, which is the most amongst a Power 5 conference team, and 7 national titles are the 2nd most since 1950. But let's talk about what's happened recently. OU has finished in the top 5 in each of the past 3 final AP polls, along with Alabama and Clemson. 1st and 10 at the 35 for Florida Atlantic. Singletary looking. Not a lot. Tyrese Lott, first man to him.
And listen, it's pretty apparent this offense is going to be as potent as we've ever seen them in the last 3 years. Now the question becomes, to get to that next echelon, Gus, where you are beating Alabama for a national championship or getting to that game, is can this unit, the defense, step up and be great?
2nd down and 11. That ball swung out, and Deshaun Holmes makes a tackle. Makes the reception, rather.
Last year they gave up over 300 yards on the ground to Georgia in that Rose Bowl. They blew that 17-point lead. This is the next step. It's on defense for the Sooners. Can they be great and dominant on this side?
3rd down and 6. They'll hand it off. Singletary will not get the 1st down as he goes down behind the line of scrimmage. I don't know, Joel. It's something about this defense that just feels different. I know it's only the first half, but it feels like they're a different team.
This is very nerdy, but there's so much more sound. It's called gap sound. right? They're not jumping around defenders. They're not jumping around blocks. They're engaging their blocker, getting the correct arm free, and then staying there. Singletary's got nowhere to go. FAU's got nowhere to go because they're being fundamentally sound on defense. They're doing a really nice job of it.
CeeDee Lamb back deep again. Riella. Busy first half for the Florida Atlantic punter. Lamb. And he has the fair catch at the 22. So coming up, one of our favorite players is back on the field. Mayfield delivers. Brown! Hollywood Brown! And he's not from Hollywood, California. He's from Hollywood, Florida. Lights, camera, action, folks. Fox College Football presented by AT&T Business is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you. 35-0, Oklahoma leading Florida Atlantic here in the second quarter. Gus Johnson along with Joel Klatt, and the Sooners take over 1st and 10 at the 24. Kyler Murray remains in at quarterback. Murray in trouble, and he's sacked. Well defended this time by Florida Atlantic as they shot the right side, and Smith makes the stop.
Yeah, that was a misread from Murray. He had his tight end, number 45, Carson Meyer, kind of an H-back player, and he was taking off right down the field. There was a blitz from that left side. Murray's got to understand that he's got to throw that ball to Meyer right away in the vacant area.
2nd and 16 at the 18-yard line. Murray again to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Wants to run it. Scampers down the sideline and steps out of bounds at the 30. About 4 yards short of the first down.
That was Drake Stoops, 25, with the huge block. He was on the sideline. There's Bob's son, Drake Stoops. He was a freshman, walk-on in this program, earned playing time right here in his first game in the OU uniform. You think he hasn't dreamt of being on this field in that helmet his whole life? Unbelievable feeling.
3rd down and 4 at the 30. I'm sure his dad is proud to watch his son out there on the field playing right now. High snap handled. Murray underneath, caught, 1st down. Drake Stoops. Oh, and they're stupid, folks. They're not booing, they're stupid.
Oh, I love it. I'm getting chills. When Bob came into the booth, he said, I was like, how you feeling? He goes, way different type of nerves today. And he's talking about watching his own son on this field, Drake Stoops. Wow, what a cool moment right there.
Talking to Mike Stoops, his uncle, the defensive coordinator, he said, I don't know, but Drake and Isaac got a lot more speed than me and Bob had. That comes from Mom. 1st and 10 at the 38. Sermon, 1st down, and more. Sermon all the way down to the 40. A 22-yard gain. Now, you said something during the break that really was curious to me. You said that aside from Baker Mayfield, this team is better.
All around, yeah, collectively, this is a better team than they were a year ago, primarily because of the youth and the talent on defense. But the fact that their offensive line, they bring 4 starters back. They've got their running backs back. They've got Hollywood Brown back. If they get quality play out of Kyler Murray, they're going to be really tough to beat in the Big 12 and could eventually be in the playoff again.
Kyler Murray, remember, in high school, he was 42-0, 3 state championships. 1st and 10 at the 40. And they'll hand it off again. Sermon. And these backs, Joel, are a load. Sermon goes in at 224. Anderson at 220. So you got two 230-pound running backs with speed and agility.
Hey, not to mention, how about up front? From left to right, 301. 313, Alvarez the center, 312, Samia the right guard, 303, Cody Ford the right tackle, 338. So not only are you having to face these backs that have some thunder to them, you're having to lean against one of the bigger offensive lines in the country and one of the best offensive lines in the country. They've done a heck of a job so far. Because, folks, let me give you some context. FAU's got 10 starters back on defense from a defense that was one of the best in Conference USA. They won 10 in a row. They were 11-3. And OU is just running through them right now.
Seems like Lincoln Riley is trying to get back to old school Oklahoma football, where they just pounded it at you with all those talented running backs we ran off earlier in the broadcast.
And what better way to improve the defense, right? I mean, that was the Achilles heel of the team last year. No, you can't get around it.
They scored too quickly? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I'm saying their defense was, right? I mean, they didn't stop people consistently enough. Well, what better way to help improve them and improve their consistency than give them rest? Run the football, shorten the game a little bit. And they've got the personnel to do that with all these backs and the great offensive line and even a quarterback that could be as good of a running back as anybody. So, listen, this is a recipe that could be very dangerous moving forward.
Second down and 4 at the 34. And Kyler Murray has shown great poise in this first half as the leader of the offense. He's 6 for 6. And remember, he's got speed to burn. Sub-4, 5 guy. Here's Sermon. And this time Sermon will be wrapped up and taken down for a loss. Nicely done by this Florida Atlantic defense. William Davis leading the way.
Well, you're seeing, everyone talks about the hyper speed of football, but I think this is what makes Lincoln Riley so smart, is you're seeing now the deliberate speed and pace of play from Oklahoma. They've got the big lead. It's 35-0. Got 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. There's so much football left. Why not just bleed it out? Keep their defense on the field. Allow these running backs to work.
Former Cowboys Vice President of Player Personnel Gil Brandt, who's a legend, calls Riley a young Tom Landry. Murray, and he throws that one behind Hollywood.
That's one of those passes as a quarterback, Gus. Until you're out there in the live, real game speed, you don't understand how hard you have to throw it. When you're trying to throw the ball short but outside of the numbers, you've got to throw that max velocity. And that's really tough to do because it looks like a short pass, but Hollywood Brown is too fast for you to loft that ball all the way outside of the hash.
So that brings on Seibert. Had a career-long 51-yarder against West Virginia in the home finale last season. This one from 53 yards away. And he hooked it. No good. Enough distance. 7:40 to play in the second quarter. 35-0.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, how is year 2 under Tom Herman kicking off for Texas? The Buckeyes kick off minus Urban Meyer, and we look ahead to the Scott Frost era beginning in Nebraska. Gus, Joel, back to you guys.
All right, Stoner, thank you very much. 35-0. Our score here, 7th-ranked Oklahoma completely dominating the first half. Robinson, and he throws that behind Javon Durant, his intended receiver.
This offense and this system, it's so much predicated on getting the run game going, because then they can get those quick little bullet screens on the outside going. That's what allows them to get down the field. So the fact that they've had an inability to really consistently run the ball has just really hurt them in this game.
Second down and 10 of the 36. Robinson lost one up the sideline and caught. Great throw, terrific catch. Durant camped under that football, cradled it, and gets out of bounds for a gain of 28.
Great throw, great catch. What I love about the route is watch how Durant doesn't run all the way to the sideline right away. That allows the ball to be thrown outside and he can go get it.
And they're running with Singletary. Singletary trying to find some daylight, unable to, as Ryan Jones and Kenneth Mann combined to bring him down.
Yeah, Kenneth Mann was way in the backfield right away. Did a heck of a job getting off his block, getting upfield. And Singletary, right after he got the ball, he really had nowhere to go.
A loss of 4, second down and 14. Robinson, pump fake. Wide open, incomplete. Great opportunity. Durant was open.
Gotta hit him. Gotta hit him. Those seam routes. See that? Durant came from the slot. And when you're running a seam route, whether it's a corner route from the slot or an inside fade, the quarterback has to understand that when he throws the ball to that receiver, it's got to be thrown on his frame. You can't lead him up the field like that. You got to throw it on his frame and let him run.
Florida Atlantic playing without last year's starter Jason Diskel, who retired in January to focus on obtaining his engineering degree. 3rd down and 14 at the 40. Singletary. Nothing. Amani Bledsoe.
This defensive line is just winning up front. They're doing a great job. Watch all 4 of them down. They're going to engage, and then they get off of their blocks, and then they get to the ball carrier. What an excellent job from Amani Bledsoe, junior from Lawrence, Kansas. At 19 tackles last year. That certainly is going to rise this year, as he seems to be a much quicker and more dominant player thus far.
Talked about the offensive line and their size. Bledsoe 295, Gallimore 330, Overton 315, Tyree Slott 301. Some big boys.
Illegal substitution. There were 12 in formation on the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still 4th down.
Boy, this punt team has had all sorts of problems for FAU. They've gotten one blocked. They had a delay. Now they've got 12 in formation. So some first game jitters for FAU, and understandably, you know, this is not an easy environment to just stroll into and play your best football.
Lane Kiffin, because of the success they experienced last year, 11-3, 8-0 Conference USA, got a 10-year contract extension. So they're jumping on the Lane train, as they're saying. This ball fair caught at the 10. 5:49 to play, 2nd quarter. Back to Norman after this. Fox College Football, presented by AT&T Business, is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. And by Domino's, order online and track your order. 5:49 remaining in the 2nd quarter, 35-0. Oklahoma playing a perfect game thus far.
This has been impressive. I mean, even I talked with Lincoln on the field right before the game. I said, how do you feel? And he says, I have no idea. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, I don't know how my young kids are going to react. And I'm thinking to myself, well, Lincoln, you got to be feeling good now, because these young kids have reacted incredibly positively.
1st down and 10 at the 10-yard line for Kyler Murray. Handed off to Sutton. Number 21, the senior from LaGrange, North Carolina. Transferred from Lackawanna College. Jalen Young with the tackle after the 4-yard pickup. Murray sprints out of the pocket, throws on the move. Hollywood Brown with the catch and 1st down. Shelton Lewis covering.
Murray has been impressive, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Poised. Like he's been here before.
Yeah, he had the one, brilliant scramble. He's thrown a couple of really nice passes down the field. One to Hollywood Brown. He threw that incredible pass over the middle to Lee Morris. It wound up for a touchdown.
Murray again. Sideline. And that one thrown a tad high for Brown. So Murray takes a look as he delivers.
So here's a coaching point, right? So when he goes back in on Monday and they look at that play, he does an unbelievable job, Gus, of getting from number 1 to number 2 all the way across the field to number 3. But here's the problem. When you're not quite as experienced, you're going too fast, and you don't set your feet to throw it to number 3. He'll set his feet in the future, and that ball will be down on the frame in a completed pass.
2nd and 10 at the 22. Murray, Sutton, and here's Sutton. Picks up a 1st down.
They are just burying them with this bread and butter play. They pull both the guard and the tackle around, and I mean they are running this play to death, and this offensive line is just burying the Owls.
11-yard gain, 1st down at the 32. Murray buys time, throws across his body, and he has his receiver. This time it's Grant Calcaterra, who they are really high on as he replaces Mark Andrews, who's now with the Baltimore Ravens.
He's going to have to play well, Gus, because Andrews was the Mackey Award winner and one of the best targets in football on 3rd down. That's when he really made his hay.
2nd down. Murray winds up deep, down the field. What? Touchdown, 65 yards. I don't know, Joel. This team has a lot of talent.
Easy pickings, right? I mean, my goodness, Marquise Brown is going to come from that right side, and as soon as the safety goes with the tight end, Murray just winds up and throws it right down the field. The corner thought he had safety help. He didn't. Hollywood in the end zone.
Murray, 9th overall pick by the Oakland Athletics in this past year's draft. He's an outfielder. This is pitch and catch. Murray to Brown. Touchdown, Sooners. .42-zip. Oklahoma on top of Florida Atlantic. Marquise Brown with a big-time touchdown of 65 yards. He has 6 catches for 133 yards already.
And now already the 3rd 65-yard touchdown in the half for OU. Just so explosive. I mean, who do you defend?
That's the thing.
That's the problem.
OU 406 yards in total offense in 26 minutes. Murray 9 of 11, 209 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. And we really haven't even seen him use his legs.
Feeling we're not going to get to see Mr. Anderson anymore. He's only got 5 carries for 100 yards, 2 rips
in the first half. Florida Atlantic crosses the 35 up to the 37. Here's a quick word from Duracell.
This fantasy season, trust Duracell, not auto drafts.
.411 to play in the 2nd quarter. 42-0 season opener for both these teams. And Oklahoma, after that spectacular season last year where they were a couple of plays away from going to the national title game, they have come out and showed why they're expected to do so well year in and year out. Robinson down the field and incomplete. Willie Wright, the intended receiver.
This defense has played well today. You know, FAU brought one of the best running backs in the country in here in Devin Singletary. Now, they were replacing 3 offensive linemen, had a couple of graduate transfers up front. Lane Kiffin was a little nervous about that, but OU has just been stifling.
2nd and 10 at the 37. Flag on the play. This ball caught by Durant, and Durant is corralled and taken down quickly. Ronnie Perkins. And Durant gets up slowly.
There was a flag on the play on this near side.
An illegal shift by number 87 and number 7 on the offense. The penalty is declined. It's 3rd down.
A couple of guys moving at the same time. We're just flying around. These young players, man, these freshmen for Oklahoma, they are playing fast.
3rd and 16. Singletary. And Singletary stopped by Tyrese Lott and Justin Broyles.
OU is also replacing a great player on defense, Obo Okoronkwo, who was one of the Big 12's best, and there was a lot of concern that they were going to have a tough time replacing his production And when we asked him about it, Gus, they talked about replacing his production with the collective, with being better as a whole. And they certainly are doing that in large part due to the young guys. And Radley Hiles is part of that. Buki Radley Hiles, a true freshman, 5-star kid. He's been playing great today, as well as another true freshman, Ronnie Perkins, has been in a lot of plays.
Riella sends it away. C.D. Lamb. He'll get a shot at it from inside his own 20. Lamb. And he'll lunge forward and get close to the 25. Gerald Hearns with the tackle on special teams. Now catch an MLB doubleheader today on FS1. First, Giancarlo Stanton leads the Yankees against the Tigers. Then the Rays battle Francisco Lindor and the Indians. It all starts at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app.
Oof, 42-0. Yeah, this is. Now,
You expected Oklahoma to play well, but
this is. Oh, and look at this. I mean, he said, I've seen enough already from Kyler Murray. Austin Kendall going to come onto the field. He was the one that Murray won the job from. So Kendall here getting a little run.
Kendall was Baker Mayfield's backup in 2016. Completed 16 of 22 passes for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then redshirted last season. Said Riley of Kendall, with what Austin's done over the last 4 or 5 months, his rise has been as strong as anybody in our program. If he continues to perform like that, great things are going to happen for that kid. No doubt about it.
Well, and if he's just patient, right? I mean, this guy could have 2 incredible years, right? He got the red shirt, so now he's still just a sophomore. So he's got a lot of eligibility after Kyler moves on to the Oakland A's organization.
Second down and 8. Here's Kendall improvising, throws, and it's caught. Flag though on the play.
I think they're going to get an eligible downfield, because this was supposed to be a run play and thrown quickly, but as Kendall held the ball, they got down the field. I believe it was the center got himself down the field quite a ways.
An ineligible player downfield, number 56 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still second down.
Watch as Creed Humphrey here, or no, that's 52 actually. Tyrese Robinson, he got himself down the field as Austin Kendall left the pocket.
Under 2 minutes to go, 2nd and 13. Kendall spinning, and he's sacked. Great pursuit. This time it's Al Shire with the sack for Florida Atlantic.
Al Shire is already FAU's all-time leading tackler. He's still got a season to play, but Murray now over on the sideline, and he might have escaped. I mean, Kendall's athletic, but he's not quite Kyler Murray, right?
Al Shire, terrific athlete as well. So 3rd down and 20 at the 14. Sermon. He crosses the 20-yard line, gets up to the 22. O.C. Rose defensively.
Here's that play I'm talking about. Watch as the guard and the tackle pull around. This is their bread and butter play right here. They block back with the left side, then they pull around with the front side, and they find the hole, and then they read it. Both the tackle and the back read it, and the back's going to go where the tackle goes, and they find the inside seam, and they try to get up the field.
.34 seconds and counting remaining in this first half. A big one for Oklahoma. And they have taken their starters mostly out of the game already.
Oklahoma calls their first timeout of the half.
OU calls the timeout. 29 seconds to go. Back after this. Coming up at the half, Rob Stone, Dave Wanstadt, and Robert Smith are standing by with the State Farm halftime show. And this is the first punt of the game for Oklahoma. Seibert. Jalen Young signals for the fair catch, and has it at the 39 with 22 seconds to go. What do you say to your team if you're Lane Kiffin at halftime?
I'll tell him I'm going to evaluate your effort in the second half. I think that's all you got, right? Is you're going to evaluate which players on your team are willing to play hard regardless of what's going on around them. Because candidly, 42-0. I mean, Josh Rosen ain't walking through those doors. I mean, we saw a comeback last year, UCLA and Texas A&M, but you know, it's
academic.
Yeah.
1st and 10 at the 39. Robinson down the field and incomplete. Looks like he tripped at the end. Durant. No flag on the play.
Oh, that was a good no call there. He's kind of getting tripped up.
Bradley Hiles and Trey Brown defensively. Near side this time, and it's caught. Harrison gets down the sideline, picked up a 1st down.
And you know, I think it's the same message in the OU locker room as well, because that can be a tough locker room as well. I mean, you get guys that are just totally checked out. You know, you've already pulled your starters, and so if I'm Lincoln Riley, I walk in and I say, I'm evaluating your effort in the second half, in particular for some of these backups. Maybe you could earn yourself some playing time.
Yeah, especially with a younger team, you'll get an opportunity to let the guys show what they can do. Plenty of playing time for some of the guys that do not start
Oklahoma
in the second half.
Second timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
7 seconds to go. Back right after this. Complete domination for Oklahoma in the first half. 8 seconds to go. 407 yards of total offense. Kyler Murray may be done for the day. 9 of 11, 209, 2 passing touchdowns. Marquise Brown, 6 catches, 133 yards, and a receiving touchdown. Now Robinson, and this defense has been all over the place. Neville Gallimore with the sack.
They've been relentless up front. They've been relentless on special teams, and they've been explosive on offense.
Halftime here in Oklahoma, 42-0. Sooners. Right now, we'll send you to Rob Stone in LA.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. We welcome you to the State Farm Fox College Football Halftime Show. The spread on this one was 21 points. Matt said the Owls would cover.
What?
Cousin Sal and Clay Travis didn't see it that way, my friend.
Still
Robert,
2 quarters left.
Heisman coach back here with you. No Baker Mayfield. No problem so far for the Sooners. Time for our halftime highlights, sponsored by State Farm. Here to help offense go right. The rush game doing just fine for the Sooners, Robert.
A tremendous job here. And I love the way that Rodney Anderson gets vertical. See, he starts to move to the outside, sees that vertical seam, gets it upfield. You can see Sermon does a nice job stretching the ball out at the goal line. And look at the balance here by Mr. Anderson, as Gus Johnson was saying. Does a nice job. Excellent burst. Just a tremendous job by this offensive line and by these running backs, taking that pressure off of Kyler Murray in the passing game.
And Kyler Murray looked the part, right? We were looking to see how he'd throw the football, just how he would interact with this team and this offense. And 9 for 11, couple hundred yards, a couple touchdowns. Looked great in the pocket. I love that throw. That was an accurate throw over the middle. The offensive line, again, gave him plenty of time like this. Put a little touch on the ball and let your playmakers on the outside go make plays. They have tons of those. And then here, guys, he just shows the arm strength to Hollywood Brown. 3 touchdowns from Oklahoma of 65 yards in the first half. We knew they were going to be explosive. Kyler Murray, only 20 yards rushing, but he didn't need to. He's done most likely for the day, and they get some valuable time for Kendall, their backup quarterback.
Coach, what are we doing here? You're down 42-0 at half. If you're Lane Kiffin, what are you telling your players? What are you telling your coaches?
These 2 guys are off to a great start out of the gate. You don't have much enthusiasm in your Hollywood right now as you did in the pregame show. In Texas, I'll tell you what,
we're not even talking Texas. We're talking Oklahoma.
You know Lane Kiffin better than anybody, okay? Lane, right now at halftime, you want to know what he's doing?
I do. Put it on, Coach.
He got his defensive coaches together, and he said, hey, guys, I told you that you should have been working on tackling when you were concerned about playing softball during that lightning break. That's what's going on in FAU's locker room.
Is that your napkin? You use that for your napkin today, huh?
Do you want this back?
Listen, defensively for Oklahoma,
defensively
you were a little down on that at first, and then they came back
until the second possession.
Yeah. Special teams, defense, and offense for Oklahoma in the first half.
I could have been saying we should have been working. Okay.
Jeez.
Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. Welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma. What a first half for OU. 42-0 at halftime. Gus Johnson along with Joel Klatt. And if the first half is any indication, partner, Oklahoma could be scary this year.
I mean, wow. Dude, this offense is potent, and the defense came to play, and they're much better. Let's take a look, though, at some football insights. They're brought to us by AT&T Business Edge-to-Edge Zone, where intelligence covers every edge of the field. This Rodney Anderson touchdown. Watch the offensive lineman. They're going to let the defensive lineman go. Kyler Murray's eyes go directly to him. He reads them. As soon as that defensive lineman gets upfield, Anderson gets the ball, and he's gone. It's one cut, and Mr. Anderson is in the end zone. Kyler Murray did an excellent job today, playing within himself, making the plays that were there in front of him to make. Oklahoma 28 first quarter points. That's the most since 2008 when they did it against Nebraska, and the 42 is the most since they put up 45 last year against West Virginia in the first half. So they started off where they left off, my friend. Explosive.
So it looks like Anderson and Murray may be done for the day. Austin Kendall came in the second quarter at quarterback for Oklahoma. Sooners won the opening toss, deferred, so they will receive it to start this second half. Lane Kiffin looking for something positive from his team. So here we go, second half underway from Norman. And Oklahoma starts the 10-yard line with Trey Brown. And Brown gets up to the 30. And they've done it on offense, defense, and special teams. Let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Well, Gus, I just walked back out here with Lane Kiffin, and this is what he said to me. He said, look, our team has two options. One, we can come out the same way we started this game. We can allow Oklahoma to break every single record that they're made of, or we can be disciplined. We can stop making these mistakes and show what we're made of. And as for Lincoln Riley, you guys said it was a dominant first half. He agreed. He said the best part was the success in the first came from all three sides. That is what I'm happy about. But hey, we have another half. I want to finish this one out.
All right, thank you very much. First and 10 at the 31. Jeremiah Hall and Marcelias Sutton are in the game now.
Remember, in the offseason, Oklahoma lost their third leading rusher, Abdul Adams, transferred out to Syracuse. He was one of the top yards per rusher in the country last year, but just got lost in the shuffle behind Sermon and behind Rodney Anderson.
From the 31, here's Kendall throwing it to the sideline. Caught. C.D. Lamb. First time we've called his name receiving. And C.D. Lamb is a terrific player. Set the OU freshman records for receptions and yards in a game against Texas Tech last year with 9 catches for 147 yards. For the season, he had 46 catches for 807 and 7 touchdowns.
Highly recruited player, really talented guy on the outside. Good size, too, at 6'2".
First down and 10 after the 27-yard gain. Sutton. And Ernest Wagner comes up with the tackle as Austin Kendall gets wrapped up.
So that was one of those read plays that I just showed you in the last clip of Rodney Anderson's touchdown. And Austin Kendall there makes the incorrect read. Defensive lineman up the field. He's got to give that to the back and allow Marcelias Sutton the ability to run.
Second and 15 at the 47. Kendall near side. He has Jalen Robinson. And Robinson is stopped by Jalen Young after a 7-yard gain.
Excellent time for some younger players that wouldn't normally get a lot of run to get in there. Jalen Robinson, true freshman from Fort Worth, 4-star recruit. Excellent player.
3rd down and 8 at the 40. Austin Kendall with time over the middle. Puts that one right on the money to C.D. Lamb. James Pierre with the tackle. And C.D. Lamb may have been overlooked last year with the emergence of Marquise Brown. A bit.
I think he was, you know, and I think another thing that was overlooked because of the explosiveness is the offensive line play. You know, on the last, that pocket was just perfect. Austin Kendall's got a chance to just sit there, be patient, and allow the second read to come open over the linebacker. And he just sits in there and makes an easy completion. But Gus, it's hard to talk about all those elements when we got Hollywood and Rodney Anderson and Baker Mayfield and the like.
Here's the handoff to Sutton. And Sutton crosses the line of scrimmage. So since we do have a little time and the score is lopsided, let's talk about that offensive line. The starters, Bobby Evans, Ben Powers, the center, Jonathan Alvarez, Samia. And these guys can really play some football.
Yeah, they can. And returning, this is going to be the best, or at least in the preseason, the best offensive line in the Big 12. They did lose Orlando Brown, a unanimous All-American. He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Baltimore Ravens. Really should have been drafted higher based on his ability.
Didn't have a good combine is what they say. And look at this run. Sutton touchdown OU. 22 yards. That offensive line firing off the football.
And it's that same play I've been talking about. Guard and tackle, leading around, opening up a huge hole for Sutton. And Sutton, all he's got to do is get himself up to the 2nd level. And right there, he's got the hole, and now he's on the safety, and then it's just about lowering the shoulder and getting to the end zone.
48-0. OU scores on their opening series of the 2nd half to make it 49-0 here in the 3rd quarter. Back to Norman after this. The Heisman Trophy has found a home many times here in Norman. Baker Mayfield, the most recent, Bradford White, Billy Sims, Steve Owens, and Billy Vessels in the 50s. We've got some highlights of Billy Vessels. I don't know if you had a chance to see him, Joe, but that dude was sweet.
That was what
he was sweet.
In our meeting last night, that was what you were most excited about.
Yeah.
Was watching Billy Vessels.
Billy Vessels. He started it off.
That's right.
Here in Oklahoma.
That's right, with his coach Bud Wilkinson. And that was Oklahoma was really the first superpower.
You think so?
I think in college football, along with Michigan and Notre Dame. But Michigan and Notre Dame, they just started so early and were so good, you know, before what I would consider the modern era or post-World War II. Post-World War II, really there have been 2 giants, Oklahoma and Alabama.
As the Sooners kick it away, and this one out of the end zone. Let's take a look at the highlights of this man, Billy Vessels. He led the Oklahoma Sooners to the 1950 National Championship. Joe, look how fast he was. Looks like he could play today. High stepping, 15 touchdowns that season. Played under Bud Wilkinson. He became the first Sooner to win the Heisman in 1952.
I love it. Led them to the title in 1950. Oh, another in 55, 56. Then it was Switzer's turn in the 70s and 80s.
And here's Singletary. We had a chance to sit down with Coach Switzer, Charles Davis and I, before you arrived, Joel, here in Norman. Tell you what, you can understand why he won so many games. So charismatic, Barry Switzer. This ball thrown short. Harrison Bryant tumbles forward, picks up a 1st down.
Players loved playing for him. They played hard for him. And that's a mark of a great coach. And I think, listen, I know it's lopsided, but I think both of those programs have that style going right now. When you talk to the players at FAU and Oklahoma, they love playing for Lincoln Riley and Lane Kiffin.
1st down and 10 at the 41. Robinson, he's going to get all the work that they can get him as a starting quarterback now as Harrison Bryant makes the reception.
Yeah, good throw there because there was a safety, the talented freshman Bradley Hiles right over the top. He drove it right in there on the frame for a completion.
Robinson, 10 of 20. Here's Robinson rolling out of the pocket. Throws and incomplete. Durant, the intended receiver, on the far side. Good coverage, though, by Parnell Motley.
You know, this true freshman I just touched on, Brendan Radley Hiles, Colin Buki, they are so excited about him. You know, Mike Stoops compared him instinctually to Roy Williams and Tony Jefferson. Tony Jefferson's still in the NFL. This kid is a true freshman, 5-star recruit. They think he's going to be a difference maker. He's not huge. You know, in fact, you look at him, he's only 5'9", 5'10", 185 pounds, but just incredible football awareness.
On 2nd and 10, Singletary picking his way forward and goes down to the 40. We got to talk to Brendan Radley Hiles, because if we're going to call him Buki, we got to know, is it Buki Radley Hiles, or do we just call him Buki, and what do we do?
Cale Gundy was walking by our booth right before the game, and we were discussing the same thing. And Cale, without breaking the stride, just goes, "It's just Buki."
And so it is. Buki's playing well. 35 at the 40. Oklahoma. Robinson hands it off to Singletary. And Singletary, we stop for a loss. Curtis Bolton, the redshirt senior, with the tackle.
Great job by this linebacker right here. He's going to come from this backside spot. Watch him just get through the line. He finds the crease, gets skinny, and then gets to the back in the backfield. That's great awareness. Terrific job of diagnosing the play and then reacting.
I'm very impressed with Oklahoma's tackling today.
Way better than last year.
4th down and 6 at the 41. FAU going for it. Robinson in the shotgun. Robinson steps up in the pocket, looking, and once again they chop him down for another loss. Mark Jackson with the tackle. And Florida Atlantic once again turns it over on downs. 49-0. Play like a champion today. Well, that's what the Sooners are doing. They look awesome. Fox College Football, presented by AT&T Business, is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right. Warm day here in Norman, Oklahoma. Temperature in the mid-90s, and this Oklahoma Sooner team is red hot. Dominating from the very beginning, 49-0, as Oklahoma runs the football. As TJ Fletcher runs it over the left side. Second down and 8 at the 45. Play fake. Kendall bounces out of the pocket, tries to turn the corner, and does. Squares his shoulders, and incomplete. What are they saying at the line of scrimmage, Joel, when you hear the players talking back and forth?
Well, for Oklahoma, they're communicating the entire play call or some version of it to each other at the line because they don't huddle. You know, so we're up here, and our audio guys do such a good job. You know, best in the business here, getting you right into the action.
Listen up.
The 45-yard line is now 3rd and 8.
Here's Kendall. Steps into his throw, and he has his receiver. A first down, and it's Jalen Robinson.
You had the play call, then you had the adjustment by the defense up there, and then the true freshman runs a great route and good protection by the offensive line. Boy, I got to tell you, you see the fruits of the labor of the recruiting trail for Oklahoma. How many young players have we called out? And Fledger's now in the backfield. He's a true freshman. Jalen Robinson, he's a true freshman. We've had Buki Hiles, he's a true freshman. I mean, there are a lot of young players contributing right now for the Sooners.
Fresh legs. First down and 10 at the 45. And they'll hand it off. Fledger with room. Spinning. First down. A gain of 17. Let's check in with Sam Farber for a game break.
All right, Gus, good one over on Fox Sports 1. Number 23, Texas trailed at Maryland by as many as 17, but this Sam Ehlinger connection with Colin Johnson for a 22-yard touchdown made it a 2-point game. Texas went for 2 and failed, so it's 24-22 Maryland. Second half coming up on FS1.
All right, thank you very much. So the Longhorns trying to fight back in that one on the road.
Yep, they need to. They need that one bad because we've got quite the slate in the first half of the season, including a date with USC in a few weeks and the Red River game.
With this Oklahoma team underneath, another completion as the receiver runs into the official A.D. Miller with the catch.
I mean, this is the best defensive play we've seen yet against Oklahoma. How about this? Oh, he tried to even, did you see me?
Tried to get skinny.
He tried to get skinny. Oh, A.D. Miller is going to get roasted in film for getting tackled by the official. Oh, man.
You know what? I think that's targeting.
Throw him out.
Throw him out of the game.
Get him out of here. Look at that.
Get him out of here.
Oh, my goodness. I feel bad for A.D. Miller. He will never hear the end of that. Ever.
First down and 10 at the 16. And here's the catch once again. Vasquine.
You got to understand, that doesn't just love this season. Here's the other running backs. They're like, no, he didn't. Oh, he got him. He got him. Rodney Anderson.
And Sermon. Thank goodness that official didn't get run into by Rodney Anderson.
Oh, that would have been bad. He might be the one.
That's right.
So it's not just this year. Every time he gets around his teammates the rest of his life, everybody, hey, remember when the official tackled you?
Second down and 8 at the 14. And it's Fledger carrying defenders with him. So Fledger with a gain of 5. Austin Kendall coming in for Kyler Murray in the second quarter. He could be the heir apparent to Murray after this season when Murray has to go back permanently to baseball. And that's in his contract. Right, Joel? I mean, he has to play baseball after this season or give the money back.
Well, there's 4.6 million reasons why he's going to go play baseball, or he's going to have to give that back. Listen,
does he make more money than his head coach?
No, he doesn't, because 2 weeks later, Lincoln Riley said, hey, Mr. Castiglione, boss, we can't have the quarterback make more than me.
That's right.
So Lincoln got a raise, and it wasn't just because of we joke about, obviously, Kyler Murray, but Lincoln got up there about 4.8, and what was bigger about that deal was all the raises that the staff got here at OU.
There's a ball thrown in the corner. Touchdown. A.D. Miller.
He got it. He got his touchdown.
Yes, he did. After running into one of the officials.
It's a really nice pass from Kendall. Watch how it's outside, and A.D. Miller did a great job of fighting to get his outside arm free. Watch how it's kind of being held inside. Then he spins that right shoulder out. A terrific catch there, going over that right shoulder.
That was down. A terrific throw, though, by Austin Kendall. Put that one right in the perfect spot.
Yeah, so much about being a quarterback is the decision of what trajectory, what throw to make. You know, it's not just where you're throwing it, but it's how you're getting it there. That was a perfect decision there.
You know, one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the game of football was a javelin thrower. One of the best javelin throwers coming out of the state of Louisiana, his senior year in high school.
State of Louisiana.
One of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the game.
You talking about Terry Bradshaw?
The original TB12. Could have competed in the Olympics. Spectacular job. Those were some of the sights and sounds. The opening week of college football here in a special place, the Palace on the Prairie, Norman, Oklahoma. 56-0. Back after this. Fox College Football is sponsored by the all-new, totally remixed Volkswagen Jetta. By Verizon, now go mix and match family unlimited plans. And by Go RVing, find your away. Go RVing. 56-0, Oklahoma leading Florida Atlantic with under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. And the Owls will run it with Wright around the corner, picks up the first down, a little more. Willie Wright knocked out of bounds by Caleb Kelly after a 17-yard gain. Now it's a matter of pride for Florida Atlantic. They got to put some points on the board.
Sure, and building some semblance of confidence. You can go into the week of preparation next week as they're going to get set to play Air Force, you know, with some confidence.
And here's White running the football straight ahead. When you look at the Big 12, Oklahoma predicted by the media, they got 46 first place votes to win the conference, followed by West Virginia, TCU, Texas, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Iowa State, Texas Tech, Baylor, and Kansas. How do you see this Big 12 breaking down this season?
Well, a little differently, actually, after seeing this game.
And here's Robinson. And Robinson taken down around the line of scrimmage.
I was in the camp that I thought that replacing Baker Mayfield was going to be a bigger deal. You know, if you go back to the last 7 Heisman Trophy winners that were quarterbacks in college football, the year that they left their school, on average, those programs, Gus, went about 8-5, just a little better than 8-5. And so, you know, I thought, hey, you know, losing Baker Mayfield is going to be a huge deal, but obviously it wasn't today.
Third down and 8 at the 44. Robinson underneath, and he hits his man on the sideline for a reception, and that's Harrison, who gains 13 yards on the play and a first down for Florida Atlantic.
So I thought that one of those teams might challenge, you know, and actually be not just a contender, but win the conference. But after today, now I would firmly say that Oklahoma is the favorite in the Big 12.
Who do you like outside of the Sooners?
I think West Virginia is going to be a really good team that is very potent offensively with Will Greer as their quarterback. I would say TCU is going to be good because they are every year under Gary Patterson. And then I would have said Texas, but they're in an absolute dogfight right now with Maryland.
Robinson finds his man in space, and it's Tavares Harrison again.
It's a nice throw and catch there from FAU. And now you're starting to see a little rhythm, like we said, a little confidence that they can maybe build on for the next week of practice, getting ready for the Air Force Falcons.
19-yard gain, first down. They'll go near side to Harrison. And he'll gain close to 9 yards on the play.
And you see why they need some of that first down success, and they need the first down of the series so badly, is because that's when the tempo can start to take hold, and they get the easy yards on the outside, the quick decisions and screen passes on the outside. That's really Lane Kiffin's offense.
2nd and 2 with the 16, and they'll go to the opposite side to Durant, And Durant tackled in space once again. This time it's Trey Brown.
And Trey Brown did a great job of getting off the block. He was blocked initially by the other wide receiver. He sheds the block and makes the tackle all in one move. What a terrific job there by Trey Brown, who played as a freshman last year, a true freshman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and certainly has the experience to be a contributor to this year.
3rd down and 4 of the 18. Nothing doing. Isaiah Thomas with the tackle.
They'll go for this because Lane Kiffin's he's not trying to make this a different margin. He doesn't care if he loses by 50 or loses by 10. He came in here to win, so he's going to go for this. He's going to work on that. He's got 4th and medium at this point. You've got to work over the middle of the field off of a play action and try to get a linebacker out of position.
4th down and 4 of the 18. Robinson underneath. Looks like a 1st down and more as Devin Singletary gets inside the 5 or at the 5-yard line for the first.
Well, what I love here is he's going to run this route outside and then he's going to go inside the linebacker. He sets him up, does it perfectly.
1st down and goal at the 5. Singletary sprinting to the corner, and finally Florida Atlantic on the board as Devin Singletary scores the 5-yard touchdown.
Well, that was a good series there. Excellent series. One, the quarterback found rhythm. The offensive line was opening up some holes. They got the tempo going, and Lane Kiffin has at least got a series to point to for his guys. And this is what we want to be. This is what our MO is.
10 plays covering 75 yards, and they ate up 4 minutes on the clock. Extra point is good. 55 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Florida Atlantic finally with something good to talk about. So Devin Singletary scores a 5-yard touchdown, and Florida Atlantic finally on the board, 56-7. Don't forget to check out our Breaking the Huddle with Joel Klatt on Facebook Live Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. What are you going to be talking about? Obviously, week 1 of the college football season.
This game, for one. Listen, this game is going to resonate throughout the country, right? Because almost every discussion I had, regardless of which conference it was in or regardless of which coach it was how do you think Oklahoma will do replacing Baker Mayfield? Well, here you go. Going to do it with
Anderson, Sermon,
Brown, Murray, Buki, a defense that's faster and can tackle much better. And they took a team that won 11 games, a conference title, and a bowl game, and ran them out of the building in a quarter and a half.
Total domination. And Kyler Murray, you know, you have to tip your hat to this young man. A lot of pressure coming on him rather going into the first game, replacing the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback in Baker, but he was so poised, didn't force anything.
I think he's
relied on his teammates.
Oklahoma calls their first time out of the half.
And we'll get your thoughts on that in a moment. We'll step away. Back after this. Short day for Kyler Murray. Played very, very solid football in his first start of the season for Oklahoma. 9 of 11, 209 yards, 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. And the handoff. Oklahoma staying on the ground. Pledger. But this is what he'll be doing after this year, so what they say. Baseball.
This was him in high school. He was one of the top prospects coming out of high school, opted out of that draft, but then played here at Oklahoma after transferring from A&M, drafted 9th overall by the A's. They cut a deal after his sensational season, and he wanted to play one more year of football. And I got to tell you, I think it's his maturity and belief in himself. Like, hey, I want to run at that. You know, I know we can get back. I know that I can maybe win a Heisman Trophy. I know that we can maybe win that semifinal game, because he believes in himself. And I think one of the things that has allowed him to come out here and have poise, you know, maybe beyond what we thought he would have, is his long road. Gus, remember, he was the 5-star recruit, one of the best, if not the best player in the country, goes to A&M, and he's been through some lows.
What happened at A&M?
They, candidly, had too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, they had too many highly touted recruits that all thought that they were going to be on the field, and it just kind of imploded that quarterback room right after Johnny Manziel, and they all kind of left. Remember, Kenny Hill was a part of that, and he ended up going to TCU. Kyler Murray was kind of a part of that. He ended up coming up here to Oklahoma. But it's that maturity. You go through something like that as a young man, it matures you. And I think that maturity and poise is what we saw earlier today in that explosive first quarter.
All right, that's the end of the third quarter. Oklahoma, 1 quarter remaining, up 56-7. Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. Start of the fourth quarter here in Norman. As you take a look at the scoring by quarters, Oklahoma got off to that great start in the first, 28-zip, and that set the tone for this entire game. Seibert kicks it away. Kozart back deep, and he's wrapped up and taken down to the 32. Nice tackle by Trey Norwood on special teams. The NFL is back with a huge doubleheader on Fox. Most of the country will see Odell Beckham and his new contract. And the Giants take on the Jaguars at 1 Eastern, followed by America's Game of the Week as Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys battle Cam Newton and the Panthers. September 9th on Fox, or watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app. Check local listings for the game in your area.
How about that contract? Good for him.
Pretty good money for Odell Beckham Jr., who becomes the highest paid receiver in the NFL. I think he got $65 million guaranteed.
It's a good deal. It's a good day at the office, is what they tell me.
New quarterback in now for Florida Atlantic, Rafe Peavy, and he has an interesting story.
Yeah, Rafe started his career at Arkansas, and then he ended up transferring out to SMU to play for Chad Morris. Then they had some coaching change up. He had to sit out in 2016, played in 3 games last season, going just 4 of 4 passing. But now he's transferred to FAU because Morris obviously has moved on out of SMU. So the long road to FAU, and you know what? That's a lot of kids on this roster. And Lane, I feel like, has done a really solid job of identifying those kids that are either unhappy or need to move on from other programs and bringing them to a spot where they feel like they can have a home. Their starter, Chris Robinson, is obviously one of those players as well.
Peavy lines up and intercepted. This one picked off by Robert Barnes. Barnes still running. And Barnes finally going down at the 43. Start of fourth quarter. Lane Kiffin not happy with this quarterback. Fox College Football, presented by AT&T Business, is sponsored by Chevy. Chevy has received J.D. Power Dependability Awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs. By Ice Cold Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Norman, Oklahoma, 56-7. The number 7 ranked Sooners have been top draw from the very beginning of this game. They scored 28 unanswered points in the first quarter, and that set the tone. First down and 10 at the 42. And this ball thrown into the flats, and it's caught by, guess who? Drake Stoops.
The flag came in really late.
Holding by number 81 of the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty and replay first down.
That's Willis. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the AP top 10.
Well, Bama and Louisville a little bit later. Clemson, both quarterbacks have played. Kelly Bryant got the start, but Trevor Lawrence has come in. He's got 3 touchdowns in that game. Wisconsin handled Western Kentucky with ease, and Ohio State, after being down 7-0 to Oregon State, had just jumped all over them. That game's actually in a lightning delay. Game I'm looking forward to, though, man. Washington Auburn. That is a huge game for the entire Pac-12 conference.
And here's some movement as Austin Kendall gets around the corner. Got knocked down hard, and he's grabbing his left knee.
He went in hard to all the communications equipment. It's on that side of the field. Oh no. He's trying to slide, and there's that.
The big trunk.
Yeah, huge box of communications equipment. Oh my goodness, let's hope he's okay.
And moments ago, Austin Kendall had to be helped off the field after running into the trunk on the sideline. His replacement, Tanner Schaefer, redshirt sophomore. Schaefer, Canadian, Texas is from. First down, and they'll run it with Brooks. And because of the new redshirt rule, a lot more guys will get an opportunity to play.
Yeah, that's right.
In mop-up time.
No doubt, and that's why we're seeing a few of the true freshmen, get in here, and you can empty out your roster. And what's interesting is no one really knows how this rule is going to play out. So from coach to coach, we're getting a different answer as to how they're going to.
And can you explain what the new rule is?
Yeah, sure. So now in college football, you can play in 4 games and still retain your red shirt. So all this time for these true freshmen, this is just invaluable time to get on the field and still retain that status and come back next year with still 4 years of eligibility left in their career.
Second down and 1 at the 39. And this is Brooks again. What prompted them to make this change?
There has been talk about this or some version of this for quite some time, whether it was just in the postseason. Will we allow freshmen to be eligible regardless of redshirt in a bowl game, or we're going to do 2 games or 3 games. They landed at 4, and candidly, I really like it, because what we've seen too much in college football is a guy play 3 games, get hurt, lose a year of eligibility, or so on and so forth, or a true freshman have to burn his red shirt in the last game of the year just because of an injury situation. So this is a great rule change that they have made. Now we're seeing the fruits.
Another touchdown for Oklahoma, 41 yards. Kennedy Brooks, 62-7.
Wow.
Sutton.
I'll tell you what, you start to understand. Great hole by the offensive line, dominant up front once again, but you're starting to understand why 26 NFL organizations came in here in the spring, not just for Baker Mayfield, but to meet with Lincoln Riley and say, what are you doing offensively to be so explosive?
Oklahoma with 310 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. 63-7. Offensive line playing a great job, and the running backs are very appreciative of what the big boys are doing for them today. Time now for the expectation-shattering drive of the game, sponsored by Buick.
Early in this game, it was just all Oklahoma in any way that they wanted to, whether it was Murray scrambling around, finding Marquise Brown on the outside, Anderson with great cutbacks, explosions down the field. They went right down the field, and I mean, it was over in a hurry. It was very apparent that OU spent the offseason getting better and not just resting on their laurels after finishing 3rd in the country and having 3 unanimous All-Americans leave their squad.
Also 4 consensus All-Americans overall. Let's go to Sam Farmer for a game break.
Gus, you might recall Texas lost to Maryland Open last season, looking to return the favor in 2018. Kyle Porter, 2-yard touchdown. It's a 22-0 run for number 23 Texas. They lead for the first time all game, 29-24 third quarter. That one's over on FS1.
What a huge turn of events there, because they were down 24-7, come all the way back, and look to try to take control of that game as we'll get another quarterback switch here for FAU. DeAndre Johnson in the game.
And Johnson runs it on first down. And coming into this game, you didn't know who was going to start. Would it be Robinson, Peavy, or DeAndre Johnson?
So they'll all get a little run here. Robinson comes out of that competition with the starting nod, but DeAndre Johnson has taken quite the road to get to FAU.
DeAndre Johnson, the first signee of the Lane Kiffin era in December of 2016. He began last season as the backup before undergoing surgery for blood clots in his arm. Threw just 3 passes that year, completing 1.
Didn't know if he would ever play again because of those blood clots. So
started at Florida State, went through some trouble there. Although he never played there, then was part of that TV series Chance U while at East Mississippi Community College.
Yeah, Last Chance U featured he and even another player for FAU, Tim Bonner, is on the defensive side in that series. And DeAndre went down there. His dad has gone on the podcast with Bruce Feldman and Stu Mandel and talked about that year playing at East Mississippi for Johnson and how much it matured him and gave him a chance to go down there and work on himself, which admittedly he needed to do. And he did a great interview with our very own Michael Strahan on Good Morning America about some of those troubles that he had at Florida State. Now he's finding an opportunity here for Lane Kiffin at FAU.
Here's Johnson rolling out of the pocket, throws on the move. And sometimes, you know, we see these kids and they're big kids, strong kids, fast kids, mature kids. But they're still kids and they make mistakes and they learn from it and hopefully can pass it on down the road.
Sure. And
not to make excuses for him, but it's just a fact.
Listen,
they are kids.
He hasn't made excuses for himself, you know. So, and I think that was the first step, candidly. And glad he's getting an opportunity here.
Yep. 3rd down and 4. He'd like to pick up a first down right here, that's for sure.
There's a player
injured sooner.
It's like Robert Barnes, the safety. He played a lot as a true freshman. They were very high on him a year ago. He's got a pick in this game. And
you think about the experience that they got last year. You got Trey Norwood, who's a sophomore, Robert Barnes, who's a sophomore,
Trey
Brown, who's a sophomore. All those guys got great experience.
Kenneth
then you got
Murray is a sophomore.
There you go in the secondary. And I'm happy with what we've seen from Coach Mike Stoops' defense. I know he's been criticized a lot, especially after that loss to Georgia in the semifinal, but it looks like he's really got his guys well prepared for this game.
Well, they've been playing more fundamentally sound than they have in years past. I touched on that earlier. We'll try to give you a look of what I'm talking about. But Mike Stoops, you know, that's his bread and butter. Is be sound, line up correctly, play tough, be in your gap. And they got away from that a little bit. And candidly, they played a little bit undisciplined over the last couple of years. But what I've seen today is much different and much more sound. And if they can take this, continue to grow and develop from what they've put on the film today, I think they could be a much better defense. And if you're playing much better defense for an offense like what we've seen, then watch out. Sky's the limit.
Johnson wants to throw it now and likes to run it. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe.
Gus, let me try to show you what I'm talking about as far as being sound at some point here if we get a little break in the action, because it's all about being in your gap and getting off of blocks. Watch right here. The defensive linemen shed their block. 1, 2, get to the ball carrier. That's a great job right there. Singletary's got nowhere to go. Here's another run to left. Watch 3 Sooners shedding their block, all in the right direction. Gap sound. There's nowhere for Singletary to go. So he's just got to stretch it out to the left, and there comes the pursuit, and you get them down to the ground. That's something that we didn't necessarily see in past years for OU that we're starting to see today.
DeAndre Johnson, and he'll run it out of bounds, chased out by Trey Brown. So it's that obvious, it's that evident on the film so far in this game.
To me, yes, because last year what they would do is they would jump around the blocks. So they would try to, like, well, I'm going to go inside and then try to run and tackle him. But what that does is it creates seams. And those seams are what Georgia exploited. You know, Kenneth Murray, admittedly, I was here for Baker Mayfield's pro day, and I talked with Kenneth Murray and Obo Okoronkwo, who were standing next to each other. And Kenneth told me, he said, I need to be better with my schematics. He said, I ran around way too many blocks rather than going through them with the proper arm free. And I thought we saw everybody on defense do that.
Trey Brown, nice tackle. Jenny has more on Kenneth Murray.
Well, it was interesting when I talked to him earlier this week. We talked about the overall improvements he wanted to see from the group, and we also got into chatting about Lincoln Riley. And he said, when everyone asks about him, we think he's too young, but to us, he is wise. It's his wisdom that sets him apart.
Lincoln Riley turns 35 on Wednesday. Wow. What are you, 36?
He's the first one that I've ever...
Born in 1982?
He's the first coach I've ever been in a meeting with that I'm older than.
Wow. And Johnson throws it deep, knocked away at the last moment. But there is a flag on the play. Justin Broyles got a hand on that football. Lincoln Riley told us something interesting in the meeting yesterday. He said that if he wouldn't have been a football coach, he would have been a doctor. How do you go from one extreme to the other?
Incredibly detailed, I guess. You know?
Pass interference by number 25 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Justin Broyles here with the pass interference. I thought it was pretty good coverage. Yeah, it had to be before our cameras got there that he was potentially tugging on the jersey a little bit, because when the ball arrived, I didn't see much contact, but there was definitely a little hand fighting going on as they were running down the field together. Justin Broyles, another one of those young players, by the way, just a redshirt freshman from Oklahoma City.
John Marshall, 1st and 10 at the 31. And they'll hand it off to Gerald Hearns. And Hearns knocked down John Michael Terry.
Check out what I'm talking about. Watch the defensive linemen. Because they all engage, and then watch, they're going to press the guys off them, and then they all show their helmets. See how they're just waiting in the gaps right there? There's nowhere to run. See, if you create...
But do you always have to stay in that gap?
Yes.
What if I'm in the gap and I see the guy...
No, do your job and let your teammate do his.
But I can go tackle the guy over there if I get out of this gap.
No, stay in your gap. What does Bill Belichick say? Do your job.
Johnson over the middle and a first down.
You remember what you told me our first game that we worked together?
What did I say?
He said, you hit all the singles you want. I hit the home runs.
I did not say that. Get out of here. But I like that philosophy. I should have said that.
Hey, that's exactly what Mike Stoops is saying. You do your job. You stay in your gap, do your job, and we'll be successful as a defense.
First down and 10 at the 18. Johnson rolling out. Tucks it and goes down after a 2-yard gain. But
I didn't disagree with you.
Hold on for a second. How can I get the attention of the scouts if I can make a play over here, partner, but the coach wants me to stay in the gap? So that means the linebackers are going to get all the...
You're going to get more attention from your opposing coaches on film as a defensive player, in particular in the front 7, when you're doing that. And then the scouts from the NFL come in and they're like, man, this guy is always in the right position. Man, he's always doing the right thing. You're going to get drafted. You're going to get all conference. You're going to get all those accolades by just doing your job.
Interesting. 2nd and 8. And here's reverse around the corner. Not a lot of room. I tell you what, this Oklahoma defense, whether it be the starters, 2nd string guys, or 3rd string guys, they're doing their job.
Yep, they are. Now then, here's the question, right? Moving forward, are you going to do your job when there's pressure, right? You know, when you got an offense, when you're in a 31-30 game coming down the stretch, are you going to have enough discipline to do that? That's the question.
Don't the players fight their instincts in those instances?
Well, you got to break their instincts, right? I mean,
that's a great point. 3rd and 7 at the 15. Under 5 to go. Johnson with time to throw it. Now scrambles.
Good run.
Gets a first down.
Coaches used to tell me, you've got to know the details of your system so well that they become a part of you. So what you're doing is you're taking your natural instincts and you're throwing them away, and you're building in the details of your own system and making them your instincts. Instinctually, I know that's my gap. Bang. I press off and I get that arm free. Boom. Every time. Time in and time out.
Sounds like what I'm trying to do with my golf game to get some consistency.
That's right. It starts with the setup, Gus.
First down and goal at the 7. We're going to have to talk about that part. And here we go. They throw it out wide, and it's incomplete. Intended for Willie Wright.
What's interesting about FAU, and I know it's late here, but DeAndre Johnson, it doesn't look quite as clean at quarterback, but it's more dangerous because of his threat as a runner. And that's something I think Lane Kiffin is going to have to look at. If their offense becomes stagnant now in next week's game against Air Force, do you need that element to move the football down the field?
Remember, Florida Atlantic started 1-3 last year, but won their last 10 games. They came into this game with a 10-game winning streak. 8-0 in Conference USA.
They're going to get a delay here. No?
They'll hand it off. And it's White, touchdown. Kerith White, the redshirt junior, gets in from 7 yards out.
Well, this is interesting. This is very interesting. I can tell you why. Last year, Jason Driscoll was the 3rd string quarterback week 1 for FAU. He became the starting quarterback for the 10-game winning streak. So we might be seeing something here very similar to last year, as now DeAndre Johnson gets his shot and they put together a quality series. See, I don't care if it's 63-7. This is meaningful snaps for these coaches.
Extra point good. 4:13 to play in the 4th. 63-14. Fox College Football is presented by AT&T Business, providing edge-to-edge intelligence. 63-14 at the beginning of the game. The crowd was into it. Attendance today, 86,402. Capacity is 83,489. The record crowd against TCU last season, 88,038. So it was hot. And once they saw their Sooners get rolling with a 28-0 lead at the end of the first quarter, I think everybody kind of bounced out of here.
That's the cart taking Austin Kendall in. They were looking at him. Remember, he crashed hard into the cases behind the FAU sideline, so they're taking him into the locker room now.
Hopefully he is okay. And let's go to Sam Farber in Los Angeles for a game break.
Over on Fox Sports 1, Maryland hosting number 23 Texas after surrendering 22 straight points in the lead. Maryland taking back control. Tayon Fleet-Davis 17-yard touchdown run makes it 31-29 Terrapins. FYI, there is a weather delay just now taking place in that contest. Gus and Joel.
Wow. How about Texas led the country last year, blowing 4 fourth-quarter leads, and now already this year they have, at least to this point, blown a lead in the fourth quarter as we've got a new quarterback in for Oklahoma.
First down and 10. As the Sooners decide to run the football. Now we're going to see everybody in this game.
Tanner Mordecai.
That's right.
He's a true freshman, 6'2", 206 pounds, from Waco, Texas. Went to Midway High School. And again, not burning their red shirts here. New rule in college football. Everybody can play at least 4 games and still retain their red shirt.
Mordecai ranked as a 4-star recruit by some publications as Michael Jones comes up with the reception.
This is I mean, everybody that ever played college football thinks to themselves like, man, I wish I would have had, you know, the ability to go out there and, because there's no simulating. You cannot simulate a game. I don't care how live a scrimmage is or anything along those lines. The first time you actually get out there, one, you never forget it, and two, there's nothing like it. So really awesome experience for all these young kids getting out there, getting their first college action.
Mordecai hands the football off. And OU determined to just run this clock out now with this huge lead. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Sooners. UCLA next week. Chip Kelly comes into town. What are you hearing about the Bruins?
Well, Wilton Spate's going to be their quarterback.
Former Michigan quarterback.
That's right. Transferred from Michigan. Iowa State is a very good team, by the way. They've got them in a couple of weeks. I think Chip is going to be really good at UCLA. I don't know if it's this year that they turn it around. Good throw.
Wow, Mordecai put that one on the money to Michael Jones.
Yes. Now we're talking. Get back there and spin it, young man. I love it. Steps into his throw. Beautiful throw down the sideline. And really nice adjustment by Michael Jones. Watch this as Mordecai kind of steps into it, and then he drives the football high and deep down the field. That's a great throw right there.
Mordecai also received offers from Georgia, Oklahoma State, and Ole Miss, among others.
You can see why. Very talented thrower of the football.
He's got good size, 6'2". First down at the 29. And Oklahoma takes the knee, and it looks like they will certainly run this clock out now. His headset is off for Lincoln Riley. Riley begins his second campaign with a dominating performance against Florida Atlantic, a team that some felt should have been ranked in the top 25 to start this year.
Yeah, they were in my top 25, and they came in here and got run.
Yes, they did.
And this is the first win in the new era with Jays on the feet of the Oklahoma Sooners. Jordan era beginning at Oklahoma.
Oh, so that's what they call those Jordans? They call them Jays?
Yeah, you know, throw the Jays on.
The Jays?
They look clean.
Okay. Christmas is coming up, so partner, I've been taking care of you for a long time. Size 12. Yeah, I'd like some of those.
I've been riding coattails for long enough.
I'd like some of those Jays. You can leave the spikes on them too.
Oh man, they got it. We walked into Lincoln Riley's office yesterday. Gus walked right over to the Jordan wall. He said,
I didn't look at the Heisman
what
Trophy.
What size are those?
The Baker Mayfield Heisman Trophy sitting right in the middle of his office, but that wall with all those Jordans are pretty good. I tell you what, Bob Stoops walked in with a nice pair of low tops today.
He says they're still taking care of me. They should.
They should. 63-14. The final score. Great performance by this Oklahoma squad as they do it offense, defense, and special teams.
There's a lot of questions coming in about this Oklahoma team. People knew that they were talented. They had some good returning pieces, but without the magic man at the helm, there were some questions. Boy, I tell you what, I think this game is going to ripple as Lincoln Riley, who recruited Chris Robinson, gives him some love there. Robinson, the starter for FAU. Hollywood Brown, really nice day, and OU comes out and just punishes FAU with great balance. 320 on the ground, 330 through the air, 650 total yards for the Sooners in week 1.
And our Jenny Taft is downstairs with Lincoln Riley.
Same birthday, I have to.
Yes, well, he just said it. We have the same birthday, so hey, we're already friends. Lincoln, 13th straight home opener win for you guys. And at half, you said it was impressive because it was impressive on all three sides. Take me through how that looked in your eyes.
Yeah, it was fun to see. You know, we got some big stops defensively there early in it, especially after we gave up the big penalty down there. So stopped them. Offensively got moving, hit some big plays, and the punt block to me was the highlight of the day. It was just all three sides playing well, and then good to get a bunch of guys in there in the second half and see some of those young guys play a bunch.
There were always questions about what this team would look like without Baker Mayfield, and I know we got to move on from that storyline, but today, who stood out? How was Kyler Murray? What other difference makers and leaders stood out to you?
Yeah, Kyler played well. You know, I thought we just played well as a group. You know, Lee Morris had a huge explosive play. Rodney Anderson, some big plays defensively. Again, Lee Morris also the guy that blocked the punt. You know, so just a lot of guys. You know, and that's what this team wants. It's may not be about this guy or that guy. It's about the whole team, and they all rose up today.
All right, Chip Kelly is back in the mix, and you guys will host UCLA next weekend. What do you expect from them?
Oh, it'll be fun. You know, he's one of the best coaches to do it, you know, in our generation. Always been a guy that I've kept up with personally. Have a ton of respect for him. He'll do a great job at UCLA. We know it'll be a good challenge.
All right, I hope we see a lot of you this year. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Guys?
All right, thank you very much, Jen. So coming up, we return to Norman, and we'll wrap it up. 63-14, OU. (63-14) the final. Oklahoma doing a super job in all aspects of this game. Hollywood Brown managed to get his long touchdown as well, as the Sooners start the season on a positive note. Gus Johnson along with Joel Klatt. You can't ask for more from these young men.
Nope. They played great, and I believe Lincoln Riley when he says that his favorite part of today was the fact that all three phases played well, because that wasn't always the case last year. You know, in particular on the defensive side, I thought the defense played great, but really all eyes were on the quarterback, Kyler Murray, and what he was going to do replacing Baker Mayfield, and he was able to go out there and play an incredible game. He didn't do anything flashy, but he did his job, and he did it really well.
Well, in my opinion, when you look at what this defense did, they looked a lot different.
Yeah.
I can't really put my finger on it, but they look like a totally different team.
I thought it was just the fact that they did the simple things right. They were fundamentally sound, and we showed it to you during the game, but they were in their gaps and they stayed there. They did their job, they made tackles, and they were able to do things in particular in space that they weren't able to do a year ago.
So you got to stay in that gap.
You got to do your job, man. You got to stay right in your lane. That's what I do.
Stay in your lane.
Stay
I like
in your
that.
lane. You got to stay in your lane. Like, you know, I don't call touchdowns. You called the touchdowns. You give the nicknames. I just analyze the football. Like
Can I start analyzing a little bit?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
That's right.
I don't
stay
know
in your
about that,
lane.
but
Stay in your lane, because it was
lane.
Murray staying in his lane that I thought led to all of this. That great pass to Lee Morris. That was a terrific ball that Morris broke down the field. Hollywood gets in the action. I thought Anderson was tremendous. Listen, this was just a quarter and a half that the starters were out here. They beat them 63-14, and it was essentially a quarter and a half of the starters. Tied for second most points scored in the Riley era. That's obviously since 2015 when he came in as the offensive coordinator. But Kyler, 9 of 11, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. 4 players with a rushing TD, 3 players with a receiving TD. It was a balanced and dominant attack for Oklahoma.
All right, and moments ago, our Jenny Taft had a chance to talk to the starting quarterback for OU.
All right, Kyler, there was always questions about your debut coming in after Baker Mayfield. You were 9 for 11, 2 touchdowns, and the score speaks for itself. But how did this go in your eyes as you had planned? What did you make of it?
Something I envisioned, you know, since that last game, obviously, you know, coming out here starting fast and trying to finish fast. And, you know, we did that. We executed well on offense, I thought. And it was a pretty good day for us.
It was something that you said before the season started, that you understand the standard at which you must play as a quarterback at Oklahoma. Do you feel like you can live up to that standard?
No doubt. I have the most confidence in myself. You know, I believe in myself. So there's no question in my eyes, you know, if I can do this or not. For me, it's just coming out here every day, ready to work and getting better.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you about the baseball, because we all know it's coming in the future. But tell me about the decision to play football, to play at Oklahoma for you.
For me, it's unfinished business. I mean, you know, we've come up short the past 3 years. And for me, you know, in my eyes, it's to win a national championship. And that's all, you know, for me. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing you all year. Thank you.
No doubt. Thank you.
Guys.
All right, winning a national championship is the goal for that young man. And they got off to a good start. Oklahoma, what a performance today. They did it on special teams. Defense tackled in space, stayed in their lanes. And the offense, well, it's the Oklahoma offense. 63-14, the final score from Norman. OU defeats Florida Atlantic. After the break, we will get you back to Los Angeles for more post-game show coverage. For Joel Klatt and Jenny Taft, this is Gus Johnson saying so long.
Our Fox audience, also our FS1 audience. Again, reminder, there is a weather delay right now. Maryland and Texas, the Terps up 2. Oklahoma just took care of FAU. Coming up next, the Pac-12 looks to remain unbeaten as Cal gets set to host Carolina, though. First, though, pretty strong opening statement from the Sooners today, minus Baker Mayfield, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you lose a great player like Baker Mayfield, you're not sure how the rest of your team is going to respond, particularly the quarterback position. So you're counting on your defense, you're counting on your running game, and it was about perfect. I mean, they block a punt for a touchdown. Right now, if you're an Oklahoma coach or player, you're sitting there saying, you know what, everything that we practiced, we executed, and that's a great start.
Yeah, all 3 phases they were successful. And then Kyler Murray, you mentioned him. Big shoes to fill. How would this offense look? Would they run the ball more? Well, man, let me tell you something. He was efficient throwing the ball, just 9 for 11, a couple hundred yards, a couple touchdowns, found his open receivers. We know about the weapons on the outside. Most importantly, he just made good decisions. He didn't turn the football over. We saw some dynamic runs, and then here we just see the arm strength. Obviously, with Brown and CeeDee Lamb and these different weapons, they're going to be able to stretch the field. But I thought it was great to see him throw the football like that, play efficient, lean on Rodney Anderson, Robert, who's a terrific back. It was everything that they hoped they would do in the first week.
Well, we saw why he's so dangerous, though. And I think that first highlight, the throw down the middle, was the most impressive to me because he stayed in the pocket with pressure bearing down on him, knew he was going to take one to the chin and just delivered a strike. And, of course, we knew about the athleticism, his ability to move laterally, find space on the outside, rolling outside of the pocket, because he's not the biggest guy. I mean, Baker Mayfield kind of towers over Kyler Murray. But you talked about the running backs, how athletic these guys are. This team is just absolutely loaded. We saw some of the issues that gave us concerns about the defensive line, especially early in this game. We know about Singletary and the dangerous rushing attack the FAU had. Something to watch going forward, though, kind of how that defensive side looks throughout the rest of the Big 12.
They defensively, Florida Atlantic obviously doesn't have the talent that Oklahoma has, but Singletary, 76 yards total. That guy, he almost rushed for 2,000 yards last year, 32 touchdowns. So I thought FAU has an explosive offense. They are going to score a lot of points on people in their conference. So for a first game like this where people like myself thought it would be a lot closer, I thought the defense played extremely well against that offense.
Yeah, and it was in this game, too, when you get the big lead, all those young players, your backups get an opportunity to play. That will help Oklahoma down the stretch, too.
Austin Kendall, too, the backup quarterback, went down. Obviously, have to see how severe that injury is, but that's, he's got experience. We'll keep an eye on that as this season progresses.
650 yards of total offense. Ooh. Up next for Oklahoma on Fox, Chip Kelly.
That sounds like the Barry Switzer, J.C. Watts wishbone days, 650 yards.
I don't think we're going to see any wishbone in that one. A turbulent offseason for Maryland left some unanswered questions about the culture of the program, the status of their head coach, and how they would actually respond after losing their last 4 games last season to conclude 4-8. Early litmus tests as they open up with number 23 Texas on FS1. Maryland teammates carrying a flag, Jordan McNair's number on it. Moment of silence pregame. Their first offensive play, they came out with 10 players as well, showing their respect. Texas down 7-0 here in the first quarter. Sam Ellinger is the starter. Devin Duvernay dives, pulls it in. We're tied at 7s. Let's stay in the first. Kaseen Hill, remember, injured last year. He got the start over Piggy. Finds Jay-Sean Jones 65 yards to the house.
Yeah, that was a nice throw and catch, but give that offensive line from Maryland credit. That was a pressure blitz right there. They picked it up and blocked it great.
Third quarter, Maryland down